Mother Nature thought they could try to kill us again, but man, we back.
We're back. We're alive.
Yeah. So welcome to Dirty Casual Corner, episode 6. So a lot's happened in the past 2 weeks, and
we took another extra week off because we had another natural disaster.
Oh yeah. So
try to hold us back.
Yeah. Fortunately for us, we're all fine and dandy and safe, but we'll get to that in the new segment. So, starting it off, Sean, what have you been watching?
So, have a couple weeks here, and the new anime season has transitioned. So we've got some stuff here. We've been watching a lot of stuff. So, since the last time I finished Food Wars season 3, there's only one more episode to watch, but knock that out of the list here.
Was it worth it?
It was good. I think the third season was on par with the first season, and better than the second season. So.
Definitely, anything was better than the second season.
Yeah.
I guess.
So it was definitely a step up from what we saw last time, which is good. And then the end was a big cliffhanger with spoilers here. Soma revealing that his dad was who Erina used to look up to, and who her father used to look up to. Basically, he's a big bad motherfucker, but we don't know why yet. Everyone respects him so much, and then he left the school, so they're gonna get into that stuff coming soon.
Oh, so that's the background there that they've been leading up to since season 1.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like that. His dad is actually some kind of crazy badass, or he did something at the school that left an impression on a lot of people, and maybe that's why he sent his son there, because he wanted to, he was plotting something or wanted to continue something going on. There's definitely something with his dad going on in the background of the school, So
I mean, I haven't continued it, but I plan on to. I mean, since I haven't been watching a lot of anime. So what else have you been watching?
So finished Fate Apocrypha.
Oh God. Tell me.
Not
Lay it on me.
Not that it was great or anything. So I didn't even give it the respect of watching it with English subs. I just muddled my way through, translating what I could in my head in Japanese, because I couldn't give a crap less of what happened, and nothing really happened. The good guys, the Mary Janes and the Mary Sues and all that, they won for no real reason. They definitely had no business winning, all things considered, but they did, and it was just a really weak ending to the series overall, which was disappointing because I thought it started really well. There was a big fight that had happened between. I think I had mentioned it last episode. The huge fight where they had changed up the animation and everything, and then after that it was just slow, and then they had massive plot holes if you haven't read the novel. Like, if you've read the novel, it'll sort of make sense, but they explain nothing in the anime. All of a sudden people just have new powers and things like that just come out of seemingly nowhere, or things like that. And I had to go back and find tons of novel excerpts and everything just to figure out what the fuck was going on, and why certain things happened the way they did. So points off the anime for that, because they could have thrown in like a tiny 20-second explanation just to tidy things up. But
so you're saying they had stands?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, so I already knew the joke since a few episodes ago, so it's finally come full circle, basically, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So not the best thing. I couldn't recommend it to you, even if you're a hardcore Fate fan. Maybe watch the first half if you're a big Fate fan, but
do it for Astolfo and then leave.
Yeah, you can maybe find some kind of mega mix of only the Astolfo scenes on YouTube or something, and just save yourself a couple hours
of your life.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So avoid it. Gotcha. And what else?
So during the little gap between the old season ending and the new season, it's kind of not much for a week or so. I just smashed through Love Is Like a Cocktail. Decided to just grind through it and watch it, and it was good. It was really enjoyable.
I know, right?
It's just a nice, simple,
3 to
easy
4
to watch
minute
thing,
anime.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I liked it. So yeah, nothing superb or anything, but I didn't come into expecting it to be something mind blowing. But
Oh no, it's not that mind blowing, but it's definitely something you could watch.
it's,
And
it's just enjoyable little
if
thing
you're
to
a
watch.
fan of alcohol, it's just that I got inspired to make a Bellini, and it came out great.
And I'm inspired to make an orange breeze. That was probably my favorite drink.
Actually, I haven't done that.
I want to do that. So that's sake, orange juice, and soda water.
Dude,
It sounds pretty good. I'm like,
yeah.
Unfortunately, sometime.
We're not drinking, orange breezes or Bellinis. We're drinking Bud Light Platinums again.
Yeah,
our favorite drink so far.
Yeah, I think that's just our staple show beer here.
Yeah, hey, Bud Light, come on, throw us money. Okay.
Okay, so and now we've got a bit first impressions of the new season. So I've only watched the first episode of a bunch of these shows.
And just so you know, Sean, you're gonna make or break these shows in the next few minutes, basically, for me. So depending on what you say, it's gonna make me either want to watch it or not. And some of these I have watched, but
I think this season's pretty good. At least the ones I've chosen to watch so far. I don't think I've made too many bad choices. So the first thing I watched was a Yuru Camp.
Is that the Yuri one
It's sort of Yuri-ish. They don't really go hard on it or anything, but it's more so about just about girls who like camping and learning about camping and stuff like that.
That one.
Yeah.
I've seen some memes going around on the YouTube lately for that, and even then, I remember we had a video that was taken down basically, but that caught my radar, and I'll probably watch that.
I would definitely recommend it. It is extremely comfy. I feel like if I'm not bundled up under a blanket with a nice big cup of hot cocoa, I'm watching it wrong.
Did you have hot cocoa on you?
I didn't. But now I know after I watched the first episode how to get the full experience from it. It was very, very
instant hot cocoa, basically.
Just whatever you got.
Whatever you got. All right. How can we spike hot cocoa? All right.
But no, you need to watch that. That's a maximum comfy show. Just nice, chill out. Just learn a little bit about camping. They teach you in the first episode about good things to make a fire with, and what things to look for if you're ever looking for things to make a fire. So I think they'll probably show little things like that going through the show about things to know if you're ever camping. So little educational, but mostly just comfy, cute girls camping.
I'm just waiting for Bear Grylls to show up. But yeah, maybe not. But it did catch my radar. So what else have you been watching?
So the next show I watched was the Ito Junji Collection, episode 1.
Okay.
So now I don't think they picked a good Junji book here to show. This is the Shuichi's Curses book. Not my favorite of his for sure. I think it's not that great, but I mean, I guess as far as objectively, the animation and everything, I think it seems like it's okay, maybe a little under average so far at least.
Yeah, I saw the first episode too, and this morning the second episode came out, and I binged that quickly. Nearly at the same time I finished the first one. The first episode is just cringe. That's just
it is, yeah. Shuichi is just one of those guys. You just look at him and
you just like stop, please.
Exactly.
Just shut up. If anything, like the one thing I did like was the old man. Just like I really, I watched that episode thinking, I hope he fucking lands on a bear trap. I hope he does, and he did, just kind of the way I wanted.
Yeah. Almost got his head taken off, but unfortunately not.
Oh, dude, he missed with his aim. I think it was on purpose, but part of me wished it was just his poor aim.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to hopefully they get into some of the juicier books of Ito Junji's, because he's got some much cooler ones, some funny ones, some pretty creepy ones. So hopefully they get into those, and I'll keep watching it, and see where it goes. If it's 3-4 episodes, it's still pretty boring and stuff, I may drop it, but I guess we'll just see what they adapt.
Well, I mean, I know you haven't seen the second episode, but you've read the source material for it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I just have this to say about the second episode. The model arc really kind of I kind of knew it was gonna end in a really gore festy way, but that's not what got me under my skin. What got under my skin was the sleep story, because they put that in the second episode.
Okay.
And the idea of that totally gave me Lovecraft goosebumps. And like,
yeah,
I love
he
that.
definitely does some of that stuff. But yeah, now I'm confused because I'll have to watch each episode because the preview from the first episode doesn't show what's in the second episode, so it's a little kind of new on each one. But so I'll have to kind of get in that and see what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was a preview for the second episode, but I mean, I remember, just since I watched it in the same hour, I guess, like first and second episode, I guess I can't really remember the doll, but I remember seeing that story in one of those episodes. I'm assuming it's episode 1.
It would have been the end of episode 1, yeah, which is why I thought they were going to do the whole thing for episode 2, but then you were telling me it wasn't, so I'll have to kind of see what's going on there.
It's really short. Like, if that's what it was, hey, it's a pretty good story, I guess, for a short arc, I guess. But Junji Ito is like just one of those guys I kind of love and hate. Sometimes I love him, but most of the time I just hate him.
I mean, he writes so much stuff too. It's just like you're bound to find something you like and something you hate.
Yeah. First episode, definitely I hate. I mean, I love it that I hate it, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Alright. And
this is writing style, yeah. So
cringe. Alright.
So anyways, next on my list here I watched was Pop Team Epic. Or Pop
Piku. Okay.
So what did you think about this? Because you've seen this, right?
I've seen it, which threw me off because I think it's a 12-minute anime that they
split.
twice.
Yeah, exactly. They split it into 2 12-minute shows that were just done with different voice actors.
I don't know which I like more. I think I like the male version because it was just funnier.
Yeah.
But the Onesan character voice actor in the second part of it was really something I liked. Like, I got into it, but if they're gonna do the male voices like in the first part of it, they should go strong with that. Like,
yeah.
And a lot of the jokes just kind of don't translate well in English.
Yeah, some of them don't really. I mean, a lot of them. I mean, it's from a 4-koma, so usually 4-komas don't translate to anime very well in the first place.
What got me was the fidget spinner.
The fidget spinner.
Like, there's no way this anime will get an anime adaptation. Fidget spinner zone.
Yeah.
It took me a second to believe it too. I'm just like, his thing spinning in his finger, and I'm just like, wait a minute, is that a fidget spinner?
Fidget spinners are now anime.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, the show's it's just basically back to back, like short little, skits or goof things, that just pop off one by one, just rapid fire in that show. And it's a lot of just random jokes or pop culture references or jokes, memes, yeah. So it's like kind of funny on one hand, but at the same time it's kind of, I don't know, I can't tell if I like it or not.
It's a little too soon. I mean, just because the first episode's literally just 2 parts that are the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to keep doing that. I mean, I guess maybe they would, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
What did you think about the intro, though? The anime.
Yeah, that definitely throws you off, right? You got the idol, the school idol girl intro with everything.
I watched the intro for Pop Team Epic, like, probably 5 times. It's not on YouTube. Like, unfortunately, it's not on YouTube.
I definitely did enjoy it, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Frame by frame, there's some parts that's cheap, like, just cheaply animated. But the majority overall, it gives me that idol vibe I'm looking into, like, and this is coming from a guy who doesn't watch idol shows casually, like, or I mean frequently. So just it gave me that Love Live vibe that hit home, hit deep.
Right. Okay. I guess you enjoyed it a lot.
I enjoyed the
I guess we'll
opening.
see if they keep with that or they're just gonna mix it up every episode because there's really no telling. I think I read an interview article where the
Mhm.
it's funny. A lot of anime directors are saying they hate the show and it's a piece of shit over on Twitter and stuff.
It is
And
a piece of shit.
Exactly, and then even the director for the anime says he doesn't really understand it.
Because it's Studio Dean that's handling it, right?
Maybe, yeah. I can't actually remember.
Actually, no. Studio Dean is handling
no.
Junji Ito.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, my bad. I could probably look it up right now.
It's there. I know their license is really weird. A bunch of different places have it. It's like on 3 different places. But the studio Kamikaze Doga. So they haven't really done anything big notable. They've done a lot of like small music videos or offshoot OVAs and stuff like that, but nothing.
So what's the studio? Kamikaze Donga?
Kamikaze Doga.
Doga. Oh, okay. So someone relatively new, I guess.
Yes, fairly new at least, or someone that hasn't really done much stuff. So.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I gotta admit, they got a spotlight right now. That's for sure.
Yeah. The spotlight is on them, and everyone either hates them or loves them.
And I don't know, man. Just what else have you been watching?
So yeah, I'm only halfway there, man.
Ooh, you've been watching a lot.
I have. I've crushed through this new season because I've been really interested in it. So we have Kokoku. So
Kokoku.
This is
sounds
the show.
Familiar.
We watched the trailer for it. So this is the one where
we watched a lot of trailers.
We did.
Man.
So this is the one. The synopsis was something like this girl, she lives with her grandfather, her brother, and her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad's unemployed and everything. Her brother's in NEET.
Oh.
And her brother and her dad get kidnapped, and so they have to come up with ransom money. And then the grandfather unveils this relic that he's had for a long time that lets you stop time, and they use that to try to go save them.
Mm-hmm.
But then it turns out other people have the same power that they can stop time, and so it's one of those like suspense anime, sort of mystery, kind of not really sci-fi, but just kind of fantasy. But so there's certain powers going on, but they don't really know what it is or how it works, and it wasn't that good. I'll say it was pretty predictable, pretty below average as far as its animation and.
For a first episode, though, right?
Yeah, just first impressions, just showing right in your face and what the premise is and everything. It was pretty weak. I didn't really find it terribly interesting. Of course, I'll keep watching at least 3 episodes to give it a go, but
I mean,
first impressions pretty weak on it.
Yeah, I mean, it caught my attention just because like the premise kind of reminds me a little bit about Taken mixed in with like. What was it called? That anime with the guy that could travel back in time and he's a 10-year-old trying to save another fellow 10-year-old.
I don't know if I know that one.
I was about to say Another. My bad.
No, it's not Another.
It's not Another. Another's a bad anime, but it's Final Destination, the anime, but not related.
But anyways, yeah, that one. So Kokoku, maybe hold off on that one. We'll see if it gets better or if it just kind of keeps the par and it's just kind of this fairly generic, this was supposed to be a suspenseful thing with these fantasy powers, and I don't know, we'll just kind of see what happens with that one. But that one's probably the weakest show I've watched as far as first impressions go right now.
Yeah, okay, alright. And, I mean, is it the weakest show? Or is it the weakest show just by first impression?
Just by first impression so far. Okay. It could even be just totally the weakest show. Okay. Maybe Pop Team Epic is, but...
Oh, okay.
But it really just depends. But at least, like, I would rather, if you gave me both episode 2s right in front of me, I'd rather watch Pop Team Epic's episode 2 than Kokoku's episode 2.
Okay.
So, that's probably the one, if I had everything in front of me, I'd watch that one last.
All right, that makes sense. So
next on my list here, Mitsuboshi Colors.
Ooh.
Now this is one of my favorites so far this season.
Is it Yuri?
No, it is not Yuri.
Okay.
And they're very young. So get your mind out of the gutter, you.
Oh, it's the rock RPG one, isn't it?
Yes, the Mirror the Girls with the RPG.
Ah, okay. So
this show, it's like it's just this comedy. It's
cute girls doing cute things.
Kinda, yeah. It's I haven't watched the show, but a lot of people have compared it to what's it called? Ichigo Mashimaru.
I've heard that that's an old anime and manga.
Yeah, and people have compared it to that a lot, though I haven't read or seen that. But it's actually fucking hilarious, and it's so cute too. It's the most adorable fucking show I've ever seen, and it's hilarious.
So you gotta lay it on me. What's the story? What is it?
So there's these three girls that are part of this group called Colors, and they their objective is to keep peace throughout the city.
And they're magical girls?
No. They kind of feel like they are. They think they're detectives, but really, no, they're not. And kind of the people in town just kind of go along with what they do and kind of, give them little things to do to make them feel like they're detectives and they're doing stuff,
But they have an RPG.
That was in episode 1.
Oh my
and
God.
You need to watch it because that was one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen when they pulled that out. The whole sequence behind that is fucking hilarious. I don't want to spoil it for you. I can spoil it for everyone else, but I won't spoil it for you because you have to watch that scene.
You know what? Is it on Crunchyroll? I feel like it is.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
If not, I could probably find it somewhere else. Video streaming sites aren't that hard nowadays.
But it actually made me crack up. And usually these days, a lot of anime don't do that. Like, maybe I'll get a hearty chuckle out of things, but that one actually made me fucking laugh. And I was dying at certain parts. And yeah, they all the girls have their own personality. You've got the overly vulgar kind of Genki girl, you've got the smart girl, and then you've got the average girl, but she's really actually a good girl. And every time she gets scolded, she's like the one crying, and everyone else is doesn't give a fuck.
Not a bitch, no.
But it's actually hilarious. You need to. That's probably my favorite show so far this season.
Alright, so that's a pretty high recommendation for me?
High recommendation on Mitsuboshi Colors.
Alright, so that's good.
That's a solid one, so.
Unfortunately, I finished my beer already, so.
Crack another one, boy. Crack another cold one.
Alright, there's nothing like cracking a cold one, Mr. Boy.
So, boy. Almost through them here, so 2 more episodes of things that I watched just today. We have Violet Evergarden, the new KyoAni.
Oh, the one that fucking got us railed hard. In 3 things, was it?
Pretty much, yeah. They go hard on the copyright.
Yeah, that copyright is. Hey, it's basically just from the trailer. It's their baby right now. Did they take a year off just for this?
They did, and it's a Netflix original series, so there's some money in there for sure.
Oh, so it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know that at first, but then as soon as I popped the episode open, first thing comes up, Netflix original series. I said, "Ooh."
So we're okay. I shouldn't ask where you watched it, just so we don't burn.
Exactly.
Burn our.
Don't ask where I watch my anime, and I won't ask where you watch yours.
Accent.
But anyways, this show is really good. It was actually different than I expected because reading the original synopsis, it made it sound like the main protagonist girl was a robot or something like that, or a doll. But she's not. She actually is human, despite the metal hands and everything. You'll see what happens and why she has those metal hands in the show. First episode kind of tells you all that. But she is human.
She's an amputee victim.
Sort of.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Okay.
But yeah, it definitely was different than my expectations. But I can't say I'm disappointed or anything. It's still really good, and
it's pretty.
It is very pretty. Oh my God, it's the prettiest show out right now.
All right. In terms of visual, because you'd know this more. How is this comparable to what's it called? Mega Spread.
It's above. This is on like some Ufotable level shit.
Oh God. So it's basically Kara no Kyokai on crack.
Yeah, this is on some high level. This is like Ufotable's got some money to do a Fate movie kind of shit.
I have not seen the Fate movie.
Me neither, but that's what this. It looks that pretty. You're just blown away just by even just random background scenes. It just looks so good. And they don't even try to draw too much attention to it like they do in some other shows. It's just kind of there, and it's just it looks good, you know.
It's like, oh yeah, no, this is our magnum opus. It's
Yeah,
their
exactly.
baby, basically, and
Yeah.
caught my eye just for that, and
But
the synopsis for it got me too.
but yeah, the synopsis is definitely different, a little bit different than what you'll be thinking going in. I won't spoil anything for you, but it's really good, and I think it's gonna be one of those tearjerker heartstring pullers later on, just
Okay.
based on how they've set it up. So it could maybe get a few people on the first episode, but I think it's not supposed to. But I think later on it's gonna. I can just feel it, you know. You can just feel that it's gonna pull some tears out
All right.
somewhere along the way.
So, how many more animes do you have left?
Last one here.
Oh God, is it good?
It was pretty good.
All
I
right.
would say I liked it. Hakime to Mikuchi. So this is the one with the small people, the two little girls that are tiny. So living in a little hut,
Oh,
you know, kind of in a forest. So and there's a bunch of little people. So and it's just kind of it's a slice of life
Mhm.
type of thing, but just with little people living around,
so like the Burrowers kind of ship.
some kind of shit like that, yeah. And they do all kinds of things. They
Borrowers.
befriend birds. They ride bugs. They have like little villages of all these little people and
Do
stuff.
they go to war?
Oh no, they could.
Oh God.
Nah, I don't think they will. It's a kind of a nice, comfy,
So they're
just
Smurfs.
cute.
So we're peace and love and shit.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So, but it's very, very cute. The two characters, they just have good synergy together, and
And there's no tall people. There's no actual humans or anything. It's just
not that it's seen. I mean, maybe they could bring that up later, but really, they're just showing their entire world with themselves in their little world, pretty much. So it's a good one to watch if you just want something to chill out with, pretty much.
Oh.
It's a little a little bit on the comedy side, but it's pretty much just a real chill back and watch anime.
Alright. So aside from the two animes you finished basically that were last season, how many are you watching this season that you just mentioned?
Currently that's 7, and it's gonna be 8 once I see Darling in the Franxx.
Okay, so we'll bring that up in the next podcast.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
And so next podcast I should have watched at least 2 to 3 episodes of all these, so I'll have a much better feel if I really can keep watching these or recommend them. So this is just kind of first impressions of everything. And Darling in the Franxx is what I'm really looking forward to, but just not out yet. So now that I've burned through all that,
Oh boy.
Edwin, your turn. Go ahead. What have you been watching?
Well, since you mentioned Junji Ito, I'll save that one for last since that's kind of like my up there.
Okay.
But so far I tried finishing Blend F, last season anime.
Okay, yeah. I remember you dropped that after a while.
I dropped that at 10, and I'm
okay.
just a few episodes away from finishing it, and probably just because since I've gotten this far, I might have to force myself to watch
might
it.
as well. I mean,
Yeah, I'm there. Might as well do it. But I probably can't recommend that show unless you just want to watch, just something that's kind of generic, I guess. It's pretty soft. I mean, I do love the concept of a anime trip cafe. All those stereotypes are great, but what kills it for me is Hideri, the trap.
Oh, okay.
Like, just everything about him it feels like he's the reason I just can't get into it because it doesn't feel authentic. And I love my boys, and he's not one of them. Alright, so and the next one I actually finished and I really enjoyed. Surprisingly, it's a Studio Dean anime. Tonkatsu DJ.
Okay.
It's a short anime about this young guy who works at a tonkatsu restaurant with his dad, which, if you don't know what tonkatsu is, it's basically breaded
pork cutlet.
And it's just all they serve and all that stuff. And one day he gets like this idea that like hey, it kind of reminds me a little bit about DJing. And
So is this something that's currently airing?
no, it's something I wanted to finish since like a while ago.
Okay.
It's pretty funny. It's crudely drawn. I mean, it's just a step up from Crayon Shin-chan.
Okay. So okay, on that level.
On that level, but I really enjoyed it, and I mean, the music kind of gets you into it. I mean, it's pretty subtle, but like, it feels like if I actually got one of those music making studio things, I could probably do the same thing they do. And it goes into a little bit in depth about the different genres of like DJing, like EDM, hip hop, and R&B stuff.
Okay.
Like one of them's basically what's his name, Nujabes, basically.
Yeah.
And it's just a pretty humorous anime to watch, and it's pretty short. Like, it's an 8-minute anime. That's kind of a trend with me since I don't have that much time in queue for anime. I was watching a little bit of episodes of Initial D Season 1. I'm almost finished with that, and I probably won't finish it anytime soon by the next podcast.
That show's just hard for me to watch.
The
early seasons is just so rough.
It is. It's a rough diamond basically, but I got into it because like I like the main character. Like, he's so dull. Like, this is the only like racing is the only thing that like gets like something out of him. That and kissing a girl, and I love it. The first episode was really jarring for me back in the day, but I pretty much pounded first episode to episode 20 basically.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get through a couple, then you'll kind of get used to it, but starting out's the hard part.
It is. I can admit that, and it's pretty good. I did watch Pop Team Epic. I have my opinions on it, which it's fucking memes the anime.
Pretty much.
A lot of the memes don't make sense, but I did know a few of them. I mean, one of them was Skyrim, the other one was Berserks.
Yeah.
Other than that, I prefer the male voice actors compared to the one with the female.
Yeah, I think they just kind of make it funnier. I mean, because it's not really a good show, so you might as well meme it as hard as you can.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna get that much of a good reception like Kimono Friends did, just because Kimono Friends was a full CG show with the lowest expectations I've ever had for a show. And I felt the same way for Pop Team Epic. And
yeah, but one actually has a full story and world building, and one's just fucking memes.
Yeah, I guess that's not helping its case. But I just to illustrate, I came in with that mindset for that show.
Right, yeah.
And Junji Ito, episode 2 kind of got under my skin. Episode 1 was just basically cringe. Like, I'm just surprised none of the fucking teenagers around him, his classmates, just didn't gang up on him one day and just beat the shit out of him.
Right.
Because he was asking for it. Plus, like, he's such a creeper. And but episode 2 got me, like, just with that Lovecraft dream episode. It's like, I am living my life in dreams. The more I sleep, when I go to bed, I keep dreaming long dreams. That got under my skin. And when I heard that, I was like, it's a little too ridiculous, but boom, I got sucked in a few episodes, a few minutes in, just from that premise.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking out that one pretty soon.
I'm probably going to continue that for a few more episodes. Now this one kind of surprised me because it's the first thing I watched in January. And that'd be Cardcaptor Sakura 2018.
Right, so this is a remake, correct? Essentially, of the...
Actually, I was wrong. It's a continuation.
Oh, okay.
So instead of being I think she was in elementary school in the original.
Yeah.
She's a middle schooler now.
Okay.
And
I mean, I don't know when it ended time-wise line.
A lot of the characters are still there from the original series. God, thanks. So I got someone pretty much watching me live already and talking shit. You know who you are.
Welcome.
But Cardcaptor Sakura surprised me, and I mean, it's really well animated. I mean, I didn't think I'd get into a clamp show ever since Bloodsea. Bloodsea totally lost my clamp feels.
The only clamp show I have respect for is
Chobits.
Chobits. Exactly, you already know. Otherwise, clamp can suck a fatty.
But the art for Cardcaptor Sakura is really good. I enjoyed it. And the story just feels like it's going somewhere, but it's too early to really say it's groundbreaking kind of thing. It's like,
I mean, people really like the original, so I'm sure it's
probably gonna get those fans back, basically. Yeah. And I gotta say, the premise basically is she's gonna have to find more cards again because something happened to the original cards that made them different, and it's just gonna go through that whole gotta get them all shit. And I'll probably maybe give it another episode, but it kind of was a surprise since I was staying over at a friend's house and he just happened to play it just before I left.
So are you planning on continuing it on your own?
I'll probably continue it on my own. I started this far and it did get me. So, alright, so as is tradition, we have our beers in hand and
so we're going to the next segment, right?
Yeah, so let's get our clink on. So I'll start this off since this is my segment.
Yeah, this is basically your spotlight here.
Yeah. All right. So, what have I been reading? So, just to give you a little bit of context, it's just audiobooks and maybe occasionally manga and all that stuff. So, no manga today, just a bunch of audiobooks.
Okay.
But I did read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and there's some things I could go into it. It's got that ye old English language that like you get in Lovecraft stories. Just Lovecraft doesn't. Lovecraft was a tryhard in his novels and short stories because he put words that like the average person back in the day didn't use.
I mean, what I've heard from someone who's also listening to audiobooks from that is that the books are really slow in general.
Oh yeah, they're. Audiobooks, I'm surprised this one is pretty big because it's an 11-hour audiobook that I got on Audible. But I'm halfway through it probably, and the only comment I can think of is Dr. Frankenstein really wants to pound his sister. And I mean, mind you, she's adopted, and just the way he goes at it, it's like, okay, Mary Shelley.
Oh, she's adopted. That's boring.
That's boring?
That's too boring.
Yeah, but she acts like, okay, if you've ever played Fire Emblem, okay, no. So, Fire Emblem, you know Camilla, right?
Yeah.
You've seen the hentai? You've seen all that?
I know Camilla.
Okay. Basically has that feel.
Okay.
Like, just a little bit toned down and more, just, I just can't explain it, because Mary Shelley goes into great detail in Dr. Frankenstein's perspective about how great she is, about how beautiful she is, and it just gives me the idea that he just wants to pound his sister.
I mean, probably.
It's a good story, It's one of those classics. Like if you ever have the opportunity, you should probably do it. But you shouldn't pound your sister, man. Just shouldn't.
But it's okay if they're not blood related.
I'm sorry that development is there, and I just can't get past that.
But actually, it's more okay if they are blood related.
For a horror story, it's like it's a decent horror story. It's kind of cheesy because it's just kind of like one of those fantastical things that just shouldn't happen. But the subtext is there.
All right.
So he wants to pound his sister. And I'm sorry that I cut you off. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I already said it, and you didn't need to hear it.
All right.
It was about pounding sisters. So.
Fuck you! Don't you bring up Orema. Don't you do it? Don't you bring up Kirino.
Exactly. I won't bring it up. Not in front of you.
I hate her. Okay. So there is an anime that's basically what he's saying, and it just pisses me off. Just remembering. But the next book I read, I've got two more basically. Halo Contact Harvest. It's the story revolving around different characters. One is Sergeant Johnson. One's a computer AI, and the other is a fucking grunt in the Covenant, and it's basically kind of like the initial stages of when the Covenant began, when the Covenant basically discovered humanity in the outer colonies of Harvest, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And Sergeant Johnson got transferred over there for reasons that were unknown to him because he didn't put the transfer in. And I basically came in for Johnson, and I came in for Johnson, but I left with Johnson nailing his commanding officer.
Nice.
And it's a really good audiobook. It's like 10 hours. If you have a chance to listen to it, it's definitely atmospheric. And if you're a Halo fan, you'll probably like it.
Is it better than the other Halo books, some of the original ones, or what do you think?
I have not read many of them, but I'll probably get around to it.
Okay.
I'd say it's it has its slow moments, but do you remember Private Jenkins in the original Halo?
I don't know 1 as much as I know 2. I mean, I've of course played it a few times, but
Private Jenkins dies. It's kind of like in the part where like the Flood show up. They open the door and
I'm sure if I saw the scene, I would instantly know. But
he's the guy that Master Chief pulls the camera feed from. He shows up. Actually, no. Yeah, he's the guy that pretty much pulls the feed up and.
Okay. Yeah, I can't think of it in my head because it's been probably 7 or 8 years since I played Halo 1, but I'm sure I'd recognize it if I saw it. But
well, I remember Jenkins, and he shows up there. He's a colonist there, and it kind of felt good. They're like, hey, I know this guy, barely, but hey, it pulls back that Halo 1 feel that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
But the book basically begins with Sergeant Johnson going AWOL. I mean, going ham on like a terrorist group, basically, in a diner, and then it ends with him nailing his commanding officer.
Nice. So it's good for him.
Good for him, basically. Now it's not as great as this next book, which is not even a book; it's an audio drama, I guess.
All right.
Which is Halo: Find the Truth, which I can't go enough about it. There's season 1 and season 2. But a brief synopsis of season 1 is it follows a character named Ben Jarreau, who is this reporter for the ONI, basically the UNSC and all this stuff. Okay. And he gets this story to do a Master Chief kind of pep story. Hey, this is the Chief stuff. This is who the Master Chief is. We want you to make this documentary kind of thing going on.
So when does this take place in the Halo timeline?
It takes place, I'd say, after Halo 4, and it's in between Halo 4 and Halo 5, because season 2. So
it's irrelevant, is what you're saying? Because everything after Halo 3.
Okay, hey, that's fine. But
go ahead.
But this audio drama just sells it for me. Like, I don't like Halo 4 and I don't like Halo 5. I hate Halo 5 even more. I didn't even touch it. But that audio drama did get me because if you know who ONI is, the UNSC, and then there's ONI, which is like the secret government police force thing. Right? Have you ever felt like the government was watching you? You haven't listened to, Find the Truth. Because this guy nearly blows the whole Master Chief Spartan 2 project out of the water.
Yeah.
Like he goes from like reporter to full on like terrorist in their eyes, and like you have him in a tense situation where he's like, yo, like I'm fucking like ousted from this, I'm wanted, and like no one believes me, all this shit except for the people who are out there. So it gives you that atmospheric vibe of the Halo universe. Outer colonies don't really like the inner colonies and all this shit. So it gives you that. And season 2, it continues off from like season 1, except it revolves around a different character that is mentioned in season 1, and it ties in a lot with Halo 5 Guardians.
Okay.
And there's only one thing I like about season 2, and that's the hacker guy, because he's basically season 1. He's basically the Cheeto loving, like slushy drinking, like hacker boy. He's like, he's the worst human being you could ever think of, but you love him. You don't know why, and I thought he died in season 1. I was wrong. He was in a bunker, in a cabin. He's freaking out. He's like, oh my god, you're back. And he's all this shit. He's like, aren't you supposed to be dead? Oh yeah, I'd rather be dead. It's like, and I'm just like, why? He's like, you have no idea. I've been cut off from the net. I don't have anything. There's nothing electrically. I've been reading paper books. And I'm just like, motherfucker, you're alive. That's same can't be said for Benjaro. Yeah. And I got attached to that guy. But the hacker guy was really cool. He was funny. He made the humor great in that.
Okay.
And I can only recommend that to you. As like, if you don't like Halo 4 or 5, you should check it out just for this. And you could just listen to it while you're doing stuff on the side or working, which is what I did.
I'll have to check it out then, yeah. I need to get into some more audiobooks. I really sometimes I just find myself not having anything to fucking listen to.
I mean, I don't think you don't do much. Actually, I can't say. I get the freedom to listen to anything I want at work, but I think you have a job that like makes you talk to customers, be direct with them, I guess, right?
I mean, sometimes like I get to listen to stuff on occasion, but usually I just end up listening to the same music I always listen to. So. Nier Automata, Final Fantasy medleys, basically 90% of what I listen to.
Alright, well, you're just like me, except I've been into Coheed and Cambria and all their albums, so...
Nice.
Yeah. So that ends my segment, which is probably one of the fastest segments we've ever had.
Alright, so let's give it a little clink. Now we're getting into video games, so what have we been playing in the past 3 weeks?
What have you been playing in the past 3 weeks?
So I haven't played very many games, but I've been definitely playing a lot of them. So the first new game I played, so this is a game called They Are Billions. So it's a game on Steam, and this is the first game I've ever broken my rule. One of my rules is on Steam is that you never buy an early access game.
Oh.
And I broke it just for this game, but I did play it before I bought it, so I knew I was going to like it ahead of time. And they are already far along with the development, so
from Pablo, right?
Exactly, yeah. Okay. So I made some concessions with it and decided to buy it. It's a very fun RTS survival game, sort of like a tower defense game, but not really. It's more like just a survival RTS game. If you've ever played like old Warcraft 3 custom maps or even StarCraft 2 custom maps back in the day.
Neither games I've played.
Yeah, I used to play them a lot. I'm a big RTS fan, and it's really hard to find good RTS games these days. Like after Age of Empires, Warcraft, and StarCraft, you have Command and Conquer, which the new Command and Conquer suck. Then after that, you have basically jack shit. So finding RTS games that are good is really hard these days.
Well, my friend, if you want an RTS, I definitely have something that will catch your attention in my segment. But
okay, then I'll look forward to it.
And I'll even gift it to you. I'll even put my money in, my hard-earned money, to give it to you.
But yeah, it is kind of not quite RTS. It is RTS with pause, so it's not as fast paced as something like Warcraft or StarCraft, where you have to think on the spot non-stop all the time. So you kind of you do your stuff, you pause, you can build stuff, assess your situation at any given time. But basically, you just you build up your base, you survive against hordes of zombies, and at the end of your allotted time limit, you have a mass amount of zombies come, like in the thousands, that just attack from all sides, and you just have to survive until the end, pretty much. And it's pretty fun. I like it a lot. So, and there's different maps, and you can up the difficulty yourself throughout the through the menu and stuff, so you can really give yourself a challenge. But yeah, it's good to actually see an RTS that's actually good. That's come across in a long time, especially because nowadays with indie developers, you really just get 90% of games are either walking simulators or platformers. In the indie scene. So it's good that some are kind of branching out to the the lesser loved genres, which is nice, and actually giving it due justice. So
All right, so and it's an early access title, so you'd recommend it basically.
I would probably recommend it if you like RTS. If you don't, then maybe wait until it's fully released with its story mode and everything, and then maybe check it out. But
check out the reviews.
Yeah, as a big RTS fan myself, I could recommend it to anyone else who likes RTS. But if not, maybe hold out until it's fully released, pretty much. So, but I think it's a good game for pretty much anyone. So,
all right.
The next game on my list, as I mentioned last cast, was Path of Exile.
Oh, the
the PoE, yeah, the love of my life, the D2 successor in its full glory. So I've still been playing that on and off, mostly on, pretty much just like every day, just like
the minute you get home,
experimenting with new characters and stuff. Like I said, it's customizable to the point of just complete ridiculousness where you can do so much stuff. So I haven't even really gone deep into the end game, which I usually do in the new leagues that they bring out, but I've been having so much fun just making new characters. I've probably made 12 or 13 characters and gotten them all to basically the start of the end game, and then I just keep making a new character because I'm just having so much fun trying out all these new things and stuff like that. So I've been just having a good time with that.
I remember last podcast you mentioned a bunch of ridiculous like stuff you could do in it, and I've seen some gameplay where it's just like baffling to some degree, but
yeah. So I'll just give you off screen.
Yeah, see,
off screen. I'm just showing you the passive skill tree, and you can just make these insane.
So the stream isn't seeing this, but there's how do I say it? There's a lot of fucking skills. Like I'd say there's over 200.
If you looked at the passive skill tree on Path of Exile on their website or anywhere else, you just see this massive clusterfuck that it looks like a clusterfuck until you're familiar with it. But of just how you can customize your character exactly how you want, and beyond that, there's like I mentioned before, you pick a skill, and then you can combine the skill with different supports that change how it plays and stuff like that. So there's just such an insane amount of customizability that you can just have the time of your life with it, and that's what I've been doing. I've just been trying out all these different characters, and
again, it's one of those free games that totally just gives back.
It's a free game, completely free. The only thing you get from paying money is cosmetics and quality of life, basically just convenience essentially with certain things. But otherwise, you can't buy gear, you can't buy levels or anything like that like you can in other certain games. But so it's such a well done free game, and like I said, every 3 months they come out with a metric shit ton of new content too. So pretty much you can just keep playing it as long as you like the genre pretty much indefinitely.
All right. Okay.
So in the last game I've been playing here, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD on the PC. So
I didn't know there was a Final Fantasy game on the PC besides the new one, I guess, maybe.
Oh, you don't know anything.
The only thing I know is that there's cup ramen.
Okay, well, first to address your misinformation here.
There is cup ramen though.
Every single mainline Final Fantasy except for the first 3 NES games are on Steam.
That's nothing new for me.
4 through 15 are all on Steam now. So if you're looking for any Final Fantasy game, you can find it online. So which is pretty nice.
Because Square Enix is pretty much a bunch of sellouts at this point.
They do, but at the same time, they've actually done decent with them. They've done mostly good ports. And if nowadays people don't fucking have PS1s in their houses, so
no.
And if you don't want to pay the premium prices that you have to pay on PSN, then you can get them a lot cheaper on Steam. So
that's good that they branched out, I guess. And
the nice thing is that they're moddable, so you can change a bunch of things. There's even graphics packs. There's it's specifically in like Final Fantasy VIII, they had messed up the music in the porting, so some people put the original music back in proper and stuff like that. So
okay, so that's interesting. I don't even know which one of they. Okay, no, my bad. I mixed that with 10.
So 8 is the one with Squall.
Yeah, there we go.
Whatever,
The guy with
Yeah.
the nice,
The gunblade.
sexy,
The gunblade.
scar.
He did, yeah. Scar
Okay.
across the face, yeah.
Scar. Hey, it just adds to his character, but yeah, the gunblade.
But yeah, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. So this is a spin-off going back to Final Fantasy Type 0.
Mhm.
So it's a spin-off that was originally on PSP. And then they remastered it, put it on like Vita and PC, I believe. And it's actually a really cool game. It doesn't get the love it deserves, I think. It's taking place in the same sort of universe that 13 and 15 are in, which is the Nova Crystallis universe, I believe it's called. And so you have a lot of the same things, like the summon, they're called Eidolons. There's Lucy. There's a bunch of things kind of coincide with each other, but you control this team of 14 cadets in basically an elite team that are kind of sent on missions to control the pace of a war that's currently going on. You're essentially like a mobile force that this school uses to
shut down the people.
Yeah, to shut down the empire that's trying to
okay.
invade and stuff like that.
Okay,
so.
the empire, my bad.
So and it's an action game, and like I said, you get 14 different characters. Usually you take anywhere between 1 to 3 with you per mission, and it's pretty cool because every single character has a different weapon and play style, so you can pretty much just play it however you want, and so you kind of have no specific play style that you have to stick to or anything like that, and so you do like range, you can do magic, melee, any kind of weapons, fast, slow. There's a lot of cool stuff to it, and at the same time, between missions, you get to just kind of chill around school, talk to your classmates, breed chocobos, do all this other cool stuff.
Okay, you caught me there. Breed chocobos?
I mean, that's been a thing forever,
Okay, are there different chocobos, or are they all the same?
There are different ones. It's pretty bare bones, but you have like just stronger chocobos essentially that you can breed with each other. You get with you breed them and you give them different greens. And then you make stronger ones and stuff like that you can take out into combat with you. But it has an entire world map that you can explore too. That's kind of at the beginning, it's fully taken over by the Empire, and you're kind of pushing the Empire back out of your territory and stuff like that. And it's really cool. It's I'm still pretty early on, even though I've put in like 15 hours.
That's typical of a Final Fantasy game.
I put in like 15 hours, but I've only done 4 missions, and I've just been having fun just doing stuff around the school and just like
breeding chocobos.
I've been going back and doing because you can replay the missions and level up your characters that way, and I've just been kind of just fooling around with a bunch of stuff, so it's taken a lot of time for me, and it's been really fun. So I'll report back more of that once I keep getting into it.
Honestly, it's just really hard for me to get into Final Fantasy. There's so much, and you don't know where to start.
I mean, pretty much with Final Fantasy, you just start with whatever you like. You pick one and you go. That's pretty much how it is.
The first one I picked was 13-1.
Okay, maybe you don't start there.
Yeah, see, there you go. Alright, so, and
I mean, I personally love 13, even though that's probably at this point the most hated Final Fantasy of all time.
Oh, I know.
But I actually love 13, the whole 13 trilogy. 13-1's probably the weakest, but then 13-2 and then Lightning Returns definitely kick it up a notch. But I still like them for what they are. But I guess if you're starting, I would say probably stick to one of the big boys, like 6, 7, or 8.
I heard 10 was a pretty good one, but I mean, you'd have to get past what's his face?
Titus, yeah. Titus. I would say 10, maybe keep that like your 3rd or 4th,
Okay.
But stick with the big boys, 6, 7, or 8. Those are the even 9, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Those are the big boys. I
remember liking 10 a little bit more, only because I had a friend who literally woke me up at 3 a.m. at his house.
Looking at Lulu's tits.
No, actually Lulu was pretty good. That's 13-2. No, that's 10-2.
No, that's 10. No, she's in 10. That's the chick with the Moogle.
Oh yes, my bad. Okay. I don't think she was in the party, but
okay.
I remember watching him. He woke me up just so that he could give me Actually, just so that I could Yep, I know her. Just so that I could witness him beat Final Fantasy X-1, and that was 3 fucking hard hours of him beating the same boss twice, then beating the turtle up, beating the same boss twice, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. It was basically like watching a Hollywood film. I got into it, but I don't know if at this point if it was, sleep sleep deprivation or just me actually genuinely getting into it. But yeah, I watched the guy beat the game. I witnessed him.
Okay.
So
yeah.
And how much did you get? What was it called? Final Fantasy
Type 0.
Type 0.
How much was it?
Yeah.
I got it on Steam. I think it was like $20, something like that.
Okay, so reasonably priced.
Yeah, it's definitely a good price. Got during the sale. I think it's probably normally 25 or 30. Again, it's one of those games where I think a Final Fantasy fan will absolutely die with it because it's amazing. It's got so many Final Fantasy references. The music is all like stuff. Well, at least the majority of it's stuff from other Final Fantasies. So you kind of, if you're already big into the series, it just enhances your experience with it. Okay. Definitely not for like a first timer. Again, with a first timer, you pretty much just stick with the big popular ones. They're popular because they're good. They're good, pretty much.
Just not 13.1 and 2.
I mean, I honestly, with the 13 series, I started with 13.3 Lightning Returns because that was just the one that interested me the most. And I don't think I really missed out anything because I played them 13.3, then 1, then 2. So it's kind of backwards, but I still enjoyed them all the same. But I think it kind of helped me playing the best one first.
Okay.
Get into the series, more instead of playing the worst one and then trying to slog through them.
Alright, well, so I guess I gotta start with my most hated game.
Okay.
So, Destiny 2. I'm still playing it.
Still playing it. You're in an abusive relationship with Destiny.
I'm in a very, very abusive relationship with Destiny. And, I gotta admit, what makes me stay is that I have a younger brother who is pretty fortunate enough to, basically not be as abused as me. Pretty much he handles the abuse really well. I guess it's because he's in the military and he's used to that shit.
Yeah, they get used to it.
They get used to it. But there's been a lot of controversy, a lot of bullshit going on from Bungie, and I'm still there, And I said once I get that chess piece that I wanted, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna be done unless they do something to turn it around.
You still haven't found it.
I still haven't gotten it.
That's
terrible. I have grinded so hard.
That's brutal.
Yeah, I've grinded pretty hard just to get that piece of gear, and it's just impossible. I've gotten so many repeats of the same thing I've had, and it's still punishing. I'm still sticking around just for that chess piece, and a good younger brother who just deals with all the bullshit I have to deal with too. So, on a good note, I have been playing Persona 5.
That's finally a good note.
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to stream it that well just because there's like 20 people fucking I feel like the entire apartment complex is basically using the internet I am. So it's just really terrible to do it.
Yeah.
And I've gotten very lucky with Bloodborne, and even then, I get cut off and all that stuff.
That's it. Chops here and there.
And I gotta give it. I've played it before for like 20 minutes, but once you get past the whole,
seen nothing.
I've seen nothing.
Young grasshopper.
And I've gotten to the point where even I know I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm just barely getting into the school, and I already know who I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick that teacher.
Like I said, not to sway you or anything, but
you want the doctor.
But I'm just saying, your opinion,
back alley doctor.
Your opinion may change throughout. I mean, you still have many months in game before you're even gonna have the chance to make a choice. So maybe you'll dabble in some other ladies a little bit and see how you feel.
We'll see. I mean, the one that caught my attention was definitely the gamer girl, just because Sojiro.
Of course, because she's the youngest. That's why, huh?
Actually, that had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
It's just I'm living under the same. I'm living at the restaurant of Sojiro, the guy who's I don't know what the story is there, but I mean either he's her grandfather or the father.
I won't. Well,
Stepfather.
I'm not
adopted.
gonna. I'll say that's no, but there's a story there.
There's
so.
a story. Well, he's
pretty-
taking care of her basically, right?
Pretty much any story you want to hear. That one you'll kind of get.
Is he
from,
taking care of her?
Sort of.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but I'm not gonna spoil anything. But you'll get that story a few months later.
There's nothing
in
better
game.
than just just totally like screwing over the guy that's giving you this great opportunity.
You can't do that to Brojiro.
Brojiro. I like like Brojiro a lot. I like Sojiro, but like
he hasn't been bro to you yet. He's kind of a dick to you at the beginning, but
I know he means well too, because he may be acting dickish, but he wouldn't help just some kid who's like, already in a bad situation with like his case, being he's basically a criminal. He's basically what's it called, a juvenile delinquent.
Yeah, he's a juvenile. So,
and
but yeah, there's some stuff there, and you'll see why he's Brojiro later.
Definitely,
he'll warm up to you a lot, even if he already has.
He may be rough, but I see the gold there.
Yeah. So how far in the game are you? Have you been to a palace yet, or
I have
you?
I've not. I've
okay.
already
So you're
gone
still
to
very
school.
early.
I'm still very early, and I haven't picked it up in a while. So probably do that maybe tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah.
Something to relax after the hangover tomorrow. So
yeah, look forward to that, because that's gonna be a nice solid 90 to 100 hours of your life. Not wasted though. You'll enjoy it.
Because I like what I see. Because like stylized, it reminds me a lot about Catherine. And I mean, if you compare the interaction, the menu and interactions from 4 to 5, it's totally different.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game that can pull in just about everyone. So I'm sure you know of the YouTuber Donkey, right?
Donkey.
So it was funny because he had played the game, and he started off saying, "I fucking hate anime, I fucking hate RPGs, and I especially hate fucking turn-based games. But for some reason, I like Persona 5." It's just one of those games that even if you hate
Donkey, I'll let that slide.
Even if you hate everything that the game normally would be, for some reason that game can just pull just like anyone in.
Yeah,
because it's got so much more to offer, and it's so well polished. It's just done really well.
Okay. Well, I like Brojiro,
and you're a fucking weeb, so you're gonna love it.
That hit home, but it's true.
You'll love it even more.
So the next game I've been playing is Stellaris. I fucked up in my last campaign, but I think I got it down this time to where I finally understand.
Okay.
You gotta fuck over your neighbors. In the only way possible. Make friends with their enemies. And I've already gone to several wars already with just lesser nations basically around the galaxy, all near me, and we're all just, I'm surrounded by hatred all around. So I just had friends, and the minute one side went south, I supported them, which turned the tide for them to basically gain their power back, and then I just leave my friendship with my neighboring nations and support them so that they could just even the tide for me to kick their ass later on. So I've been teching up a lot. I've been building up my economy, and it's going pretty well. It's one of those games you could definitely relax. Well, I wouldn't say relax. Definitely one of those games you micromanage a lot, but it keeps you busy. But it just adds more intensity when you're playing the Nier Automata soundtrack. It's just, I told you, man, like in the last podcast, you listen to that soundtrack, you can't play anything unless it's either Battlestar Galactica soundtrack or Nier Automata. Maybe you can even get away with Dawn of War. The soundtrack for Dawn of War.
So you need something intense.
You need something intense that like keep that mood going.
Because I remember, have you ever played the game, well, sort of game simulator, Space Engine?
No.
Okay. So it's a game that simulates basically the entirety of the known universe right now, and you can travel around and just look at stars and all this stuff, and look at galaxies, and just kind of go around anywhere that exists.
Oh, you mean No Man's Sky?
No, better.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm sorry. I had to.
It's not just a simulator made by this one Russian guy, but sometimes I would just chill out, just go fucking travel through some galaxies with some DI.FM Space Streams radio on, and just fucking chill out, going just checking out stars, galaxies, black holes, and all this stuff, and just like lose myself like that. But if it needs to be something intense, then
I've never heard of it, but just from what you've told me, it kind of catches my eye.
It's very bare bones, but it literally they've taken all the information that we have from NASA and just what they know about the known universe and planted it inside of an engine that you can just travel around.
Accurate.
It's not fully accurate, of course, but it's pretty accurate. Like, and you can just travel at any speed. Like, you can actually, the distances and stuff are pretty much as accurate as we know them from stars and everything. All the solar system and other galaxies, all that stuff has been basically planted inside this engine that you can just travel around and just check out stars, galaxies, and planets and stuff like that. You can even get down close to some of the planets with some texture packs and like just see them how they would be.
So without mods, with mods, it's No Man's Sky,
but better.
Okay,
but it's you can just, it's like there's no real game to it. You just kind of check out. You basically just travel through space, pretty much at your own leisure, which is pretty cool. It's super chill.
I'll give it a try. I'll check it out. But I've been basically playing Stellaris.
If you like space at all, like actually like what's up there, like you can check out like cluster galaxies. You can check out like anything that exists in our known universe is out there in the game.
Well,
that's one of those games I want to play in VR and just strap my face in there and just act like I'm out in space, just drifting through planets.
On the subject of VR, one game I don't see ever happening in VR, but if it ever did happen, Kerbal Space Program. I'd be down to like totally manhandle that rocket the way I want to, especially with like the Oculus joystick controllers. You do in VR chat, which I'm gonna mention next.
Right.
Like, it's definitely going to be one of those things you definitely have the whole interface going on, because you can point and click to have the Kerbal to activate the gimbal, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But, it's just...
But they'd have to add support for all that stuff, yeah.
They'd have to. And they could, but, if people demanded that, they probably could.
I guess it depends on if it's their market or not, so...
I don't ever see it happening, but, it's one of those games that is definitely easy, unless you have a shit ton of mods like I do, so... hyper realistic galaxy.
Yeah.
Physics, all that shit.
So talking about VR, then.
On that subject of VR, I'd like to talk about the way.
The way? My brother?
My brother. I have found the way. I have found the Ebola and the Queen. So, I got into something called VR chat, and unfortunately, I don't have any VR headset or any controller to actually move my hands, give thumbs up or anything like that, but I have enjoyed VR chat as its own beast. It's the literal textbook dictionary definition of shit posting.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's beautiful.
I've definitely watched my fair share of hours of VR chat montages and just random videos. Like,
I have a 1 hour video that I didn't put up just because it was just me being drunk and just going around just like checking out a bunch of avatars. But just because of that, I don't do anything. I don't even talk to much people there, so like that video, so didn't put it up. But the second time I played it, I kid you not, I found the way. I saw that little Knuckles character, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, where'd you get that avatar? And it threw me off, because it was my first interaction. It was my first contact finding the Knuckles meme. And it's just like, oh no, my brother, you do not know the way. I will show you there. I will take you there. And I'm just like, okay. And so he sets out a portal, fucking jumps in, and I just follow through. And I started recording while I was loading it.
Yeah.
And that's where it kind of begins. And my god, I had this horrible, ugly avatar in comparison to the Knuckles avatar. It was beautiful. And I'm sad I stopped the recording somewhere in there. Just because I was drinking and I guess I might have hit the wrong button.
Right.
Because the shit that happened was beautiful. Like, we rated like 5 worlds, and one of them were just like the first one we rated a cafe, and there's just like 50 Knuckles just running into the room, and they're just like, oh no, they're here again.
Yeah.
So it's just like we just totally took that stage, and it was just fun being a part of the crowd.
Right.
And we don't have a queen right now. We could use that. We need the queen. And I definitely have Ebola. Just saying.
You must have Ebola to know the way.
Yes. So like in Uganda. Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's one of my favorite memes so far.
It's
a good start to 2018 as far as memes go.
Definitely, and I mean, I love the Drake meme. You know, one way, no, their way. So I definitely like VR chat, and if I ever could play it with friends, Sean, I'd recommend it. You should get it. And
I may jump in there.
Jump in there with me. We'll go into the shitpost together.
I would be a shitposter. The only reason that VR chat is such a good game is that it's a game that lets you be the little anime girl.
That is true.
Just like our dreams.
I've seen some good avatars. I've seen some terrible avatars. I might actually dip my hand into making my own custom avatar. But it's definitely gonna be a Knuckles meme. It's just it's gonna be either Slender Man with the Knuckles face, or something. Hell, it might be Hank Hill.
I've seen a Hank Hill in there.
It's Hank.
I've seen just about everything you could think, which is awesome. So you can literally just shitpost your way through everything.
And I mean, I need to get a voice changer. Probably, I don't know how to do that, but maybe you can help me out somewhere along the line there. But
maybe
VR chat, I could definitely just recommend it hands on. It's free, and you'll have a great time just meeting a bunch of characters. You could legitimately talk to people like as a normal person, or you could just totally find the way.
Or you could be a little shit.
You little shit.
Much. It's whatever you want it to be, pretty much.
It's basically the best community I've ever found, and I know best communities. I played Dark Souls, which is what I'm tying in right now. I've been playing a bit of Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
And not just Dark Souls 3. I've also been playing Prepare to Die, the original Dark Souls PC port, which it's not modded. It's vanilla.
Right.
And even then, it's beautiful. It has its own problems, but I've practically put over 900 hours of time on Dark Souls. Definitely, maybe, like, over 1,000, probably. Most likely. Because I've played it on Xbox, and then switched over to PC.
I've only played it on PC thus far, which always has, has the terrible port problems. Less so in the Prepare to Die edition. They did fix some stuff, but...
Not that much, but yeah.
Yeah, but I always have to play with the mod that fixes a lot of that
DS
stuff.
Fix.
Yeah, DS Fix and all that.
I need help to get that going, but
it's been a while since I did it. It's been easier now that they took off. Man, when I played it was back when they had the Microsoft DRM on there, and that was so bad. That made it so much harder just to get anything going on there. But
it's cancerous, but it's gone, and I'm happy.
Yeah, they got rid of games for Windows Live. Thank God that died a couple years ago.
Alright, so the next game I've been playing is Fortnite. It's definitely one of those,
arena shooter things
that, you can just dip in. Plus it looks nice. What I enjoy about Fortnite is it's really cartoony-ish, so it kind of has that Overwatch feel. Where you could do a bunch of stuff. There's a PVE that makes you shoot zombies and basically like work as a group, and then there's the one where you have to kill each other. And fortunately for me, I've been playing with 3 other people, so it's a really fun time trying to survive as much as you can and take out as many as you can before you just get gunned down and you just can't help out. I mean, help it, but it's just really hard to survive. And I've enjoyed the game. And on the subject of Overwatch, I got back into Overwatch. Just in time for this new thing called the League, Overwatch League. Right now they're doing this whole streaming thing for this competitive Overwatch, I guess. So, Sean, you've heard of the Overwatch League, right?
A bit, yeah. But what about it?
So, aside from the new skins that they're giving you for the Overwatch League,
right,
they're doing this whole competitive thing where they're like taking it like League of Legends kind of thing.
Isn't there like $2,000 worth of skins or some shit?
That's why I don't know much about it. I'm just a dirty casual when it comes to Overwatch.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy the game.
I mean, I like what they're doing in some ways, but at the same time, like I like it better now that you get to pick actually what you want to buy, which is an improvement from
that's true
loot boxes. And I do hear that when you buy the skins, it does support the teams. Like they get some of the money from that.
So they got rid of loot boxes?
No, they didn't get rid of them. Just for these team skins, you can buy those, and then they split the revenue with the teams that you buy the skin from.
Okay.
So it actually does in some way support them, and you get something in game, which is a new thing. Which is it's kind of interesting that they've kind of innovated that. I've kind of thought about that being a thing for a long time, where you can buy team skins in a game that helps support teams and stuff like that. So I do like that in a way.
I'd agree with you there. Just I just feel like you're not really supporting a team. You're just supporting all the teams. I mean, I guess. Sort of. I mean,
if basically it's like if you buy a C9 skin, C9's gonna get some of the money for that, essentially from that sale, something like that. They haven't disclosed how much they get, so it could be jack shit. But
well, I mean, they're just like, it's just kind of interesting because like, our guest Santiago have gotten really into Overwatch.
Has he?
Yes, he has, and
disgusting.
he's been looking a lot more closely about the Overwatch League thing, and it's kind of like pretty cool that he's getting into the whole esports thing. I just think he's getting into it for the wrong game.
Yeah,
but
what was your first esports
League of
introduction?
Legends.
Okay,
as is tradition.
Right.
I mean, there's either League of Legends, Dota, which on a side note, I witnessed the greatest gamer ever in Dota, which is basically the bot, the bot that beats all pro gamers, basically.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can program computers to be like so specifically precise that it's just ridiculous,
Well, what they did with it was they totally didn't teach it anything besides just a few set parameters and just let it do its own thing, and eventually it took on 1v1 this one pro guy in a huge venue, and even that guy couldn't handle it. He was just like, no, I can't do it.
I mean, he has some new shit. I don't know if I doubt you've probably heard this because you don't follow chess, but Alpha Zero, Google's AI, was this big thing that they if you don't know, Stockfish has been the leading engine in chess for years now, and basically Stockfish has been strong enough to beat any pro player, even Magnus Carlsen, any of the pro players, like 100% of the time. Essentially, no one can beat the computers at the highest level. Well, so Stockfish has been like so strong, like everyone's followed that forever and used that as their analysis engine. But Google made this AI called Alpha Zero, and they basically taught it the rules of chess and just let it sit alone and play games against itself to learn chess. And then after it learned everything about chess after a while, they put it in a 100-game exhibition against Stockfish, and against Stockfish, it won something like 48 games and tied 52. It never lost one game against the strongest computer engine.
So it beat an engine beat the engine.
Yeah, this new AI, this learning AI, beat the strongest engine, which is so strong that no pro player can beat it. So it's like, it's on this another level.
Well, I mean, I'm sure if we're just like, you take away our limbs, our motor function, and like our ears basically, and our sense of smell and taste, and we'd probably be as good as that.
Maybe
plug us up into a computer and have nothing better to do but play chess.
It is a really interesting thing because, like I said, that's been the strongest engine forever, and no player can beat it. And then now this AI that taught itself how to play chess is now the strongest thing ever, and it beat the strongest engine. So I think the AI is kind of this new thing where this self-learning AI is becoming it's kind of just becoming this new thing where it's better than when we program computers how to do things. So basically AI can learn better than we can teach AI, essentially.
And yet we still haven't gone to the point where Skynet is alive.
Not yet.
Well, we're almost there. The future is now, and we're just developing it.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit before we get a Terminator. But yeah,
But yeah, that I find that stuff interesting. That we personally, like, our own human understanding of how we play these games and stuff is not the way that AI understands how to play them efficiently and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's not the way.
It is not. We do not know the way.
We do not know the way. Like these computers, they know the way. We must follow them.
Yeah,
they are the commander. Okay, so I guess just to finish up my video game segment, Dead Space. I've been playing it on the PC, and I came across the most ridiculous glitch ever. Where there's this gravity glitch where like you usually what happens is you jump towards, for the uninitiated, there's this gravity thing where you aim your gun towards like this point of the wall, and like you hit a certain button to make you launch yourself towards that direction in a zero gravity area. So you're basically going point A to point B. And there's a glitch specifically in Z-Ball, the mini game segment there, where like you could fucking get stuck and literally just die. So you're just like launching yourself midair, and then you're just paused in like one spot for like maybe a second or two, and then you just totally go through the death animation, which is just the game engine being confused because it is a pretty poorly PC port, and it's just hilarious. I've gotten through Z-Ball through most of it, and I'm just like, alright, just one more and then I'm gonna save. Death. Okay, I'm gonna try to recreate this. Nothing happened. Okay, I'm just gonna go through Z-Ball normally. Dead. And it just totally fucks me over, and I'd be mad, but it's totally something new and refreshing. I've played Dead Space original for a good while. I know the maps. I could probably, if I wanted to, speedrun it.
Right.
But it totally feels refreshing, and I'm gonna continue it sometime down the road in a new game plus. So I guess that ends my video game segment.
Alright, let's move on to the next boy here.
Alright.
So news. What have we been hearing? What's come down the ley lines as of recently? So I guess I'll go ahead and start here. So one thing that's kind of come past, not fully past recently, is the security flaws in everyone's fucking computers.
I'm sorry, you have to give me some little bit more detail.
So the first thing that came up was Meltdown, if you had heard of it, where Intel processors that were made within basically the last decade, all of them Intel processors, had a security flaw, which basically let people get in through a back door essentially to your computer if you had an Intel processor.
That might be a problem for
And
me.
it was on the OS side essentially. It was on the software side of processors, so they were able to patch it pretty quickly after it was discovered. But this has been something that's, like I said, it's been on processors for the past like 10 years, so this has been a long time happening, this backdoor into people's computers. But then they just recently figured out what the cause of this is and gave light to it. And that was called Meltdown. So luckily that one got taken over pretty quickly.
Yes.
And AMD had a field day saying, "Oh, our processors don't have this issue. You fucking Intel idiots," kind of
Okay.
throwing the shade on them.
So, unfortunately, I do have a laptop that does have an Intel processor. So, maybe I didn't notice it because if it's fairly recent, I haven't really touched my computer.
And like I said, it's basically it's been going on for 10 years. It's probably in your computer and the computer you had before that, and
yeah, it's definitely worrisome that this has come out into the light.
Yeah.
So,
people have speculated that it was an NSA backdoor type of thing, but who fucking knows? It's like one of those kind of conspiracy theory
okay.
things.
All they've seen was just a bunch of Asanagi and Schindel stuff, so it's fine.
But luckily that one got patched.
Maybe Mogadon.
But yeah, luckily that one got patched pretty quickly. But then there was another one called Spectre. Now this one was it was in processors, but this is in all processors, AMD, Intel, all that stuff.
I've never owned an AMD one, so I guess I'm okay.
No, Intel and AMD, yeah, all of them pretty much. And this one basically has something where it tricks programs on your computer into giving them information, sensitive information like your passwords and things like that.
Okay, that's bad.
Yeah, this one's called Spectre, and as far as I know, this one hasn't been fixed yet. So if you've ever been hacked on something, you've had your password taken on something, it could be related to something like this, where it's nothing that you did, but it's just a backdoor from,
Which is why you shouldn't let your computers remember your password.
That, yeah. Make sure if you have anything important, have, double authentication, like authentication on your phone or something like that.
Which is the way to go.
Exactly. So, lock that shit up.
I mean, on the subject of authentication, I remember, coming back from SeaWorld and you just randomly hitting me up midway towards my road trip back to Santa Barbara. I actually legitimately thought I was hacked until you messaged me, and I was like, "Oh, it's just Sean."
Oh, yeah, I did
like,
message
"Yo,
you.
what's the password?" And then the security questions, and like, "Okay, what's that? What number is it giving you?" Etc. Etc.
Yeah, I forgot. I think I was at work. That's why I didn't message you right away, because I was just trying to log in real quick and take care of something. And then...
Oh yeah, you left me. You gave me pretty much like a good hour of me wondering what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
So. Thank you for doing that for me. For the podcast.
But yeah, at least it's secure that someone can't just get into your shit and just fuck around with it. You actually have your security works. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's always good to have. That's what I like now, is just having two-factor authentication on things. So password and like a phone message or authenticator on your phone, something like that.
It's not really implemented in a lot of things, but
right.
I appreciate that. At least Google's side is doing it.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Alright, so what else is on your news?
So this is one that you can chime in on here that you know about. So a scam as old as the internet itself.
I am the Nigerian prince.
Please, I've inherited millions of dollars from my father. I need your bank account details, though. And we can share in the wealth.
That's silly though. Like,
basically, if you've had an email account within the past 10 years, you've probably gotten a spam like this saying, I've inherited. Yeah, you've gotten lots of Viagra and you've gotten Nigerian princes trying to share their wealth with you. So this Nigerian prince email scam that's been going on forever. The culprit, or at least alleged culprit, mastermind, was found. It was a 60-some-odd-year-old white guy, I believe, living in Michigan.
It's usually in Michigan. I don't know why. It's usually in one of the if it's in the United States, it's usually in one of those middle areas that you just overlook.
But yeah, apparently there was hundreds of successful scams that he performed and stuff like that from this.
So he wasn't caught. How do I say? He wasn't caught with the Nigerian prince scam. He was
no, it was related to that. It was related to that one, and they eventually finally tracked him down somehow, and they tagged him for all those things that he had done. So just from that.
So Nigerian prince.
So unfortunately, you're going to probably not get any more Nigerian prince emails. You'll have to stick to
just not him.
You'll just have to stick to the Viagras from now on, and
the Viagra and the
Russian chick.
The
Russian chicks wanting to show you nude pictures of them and
stuff like I've gotten on the subject of spam. I've gotten Russian dating sites.
Yeah,
that's weird. I've even gotten someone pretending to be my doctor saying they needed to check up. So it's just like, man, I haven't had a doctor in like 3 years.
So yeah, I think the Nigerian prince one was probably the most memed on scam that was around on the internet.
It is the most well known,
and it was probably the most well known, and it's just so old. Like I think I remember when I first made my Yahoo account back in 2003, 2002. I remember getting those emails like back then. So I mean that shit is old. But he's finally been caught. And it's crazy.
Justice comes for us all.
Eventually.
Alright. So unfortunately I haven't really gotten to that.
But yeah, I thought that was just something funny.
It is pretty funny that he got caught.
So what else we got here? So something that was just announced 2 days ago. Dark Souls Remastered.
Oh.
So, and Dark Souls is finally getting its first debut on a Nintendo console.
I saw it
on the Nintendo
pissed
Switch.
Me off and
basically
pissed me off for this thing. I'll let you go.
I was gonna say I'm kind of happy for Nintendo that they've basically gone on past the Wii U. They've let it die in its hole there, where the Wii U really did not get very many games. Like it was kind of a dead console, but the Switch is getting so many games. It's actually kind of ridiculous.
It's going back to the original days of what's it called, GameCube, where you have a bunch of ports
like
for different games.
You've got so many ports. You've got ports of like DS games, Wii games, Wii U games. You've got third parties bringing in stuff. You've got first party games coming out like crazy.
You've got Bayonetta coming in.
Yeah, you've got Bayonetta. Like they're going crazy on that stuff.
Bayonetta.
Which I'm happy for the people who have a Switch. They're definitely getting their money's worth now.
Our guest Santiago definitely have to loan me it sometime.
But yeah, so specifically Dark Souls Remastered. So what do we think about this?
So I have this. I'm mad at Nintendo for not doing the Switch. But I mean, I'm also mad that I have a reason to get the Switch, which is sad because I own it on the Xbox original. Xbox 360. I own it for the PC, and now I'm gonna have to own it for the Switch if I ever do get it down the line. So I've got Bayonetta, maybe Mario
Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey, and Dark Souls 3, maybe even Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Because
honestly,
I like the plot of that. Acid titties.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, honestly, the Wii U literally never had a point in time where it appealed to me where I wanted to buy a Wii U, but Switch is like, okay, I could see myself getting it just because it's actually got some value, I'm not at the point where I'd get it yet, but it's getting close to that tipping point where I'm okay.
I mean, Nintendo's played it safe for 2 consoles, and it hasn't really gone well for them.
Right.
And I actually thought, I think, are they getting Monster Hunter 2?
Yeah, I believe so. Monster Hunter World?
Monster Hunter World. I originally, it kind of ties into a little bit in what I originally thought about Monster Hunter. I thought it was just going to be a Nintendo product, exclusive.
Right.
It turns out it's also coming to the 360 and Sony, right?
I think so.
No PC yet.
No PC yet.
Okay, so, I thought I'd probably just not get a Switch, and I have reasons to get a Switch. And I'll probably not get it for Monster Hunter because that franchise is not really my thing. And I hate that it's being compared to Dark Souls. I just do.
Right, yeah.
That baby's been too close to my heart. You hear me? That's too close. Don't do it. Alright, so...
But, okay, so one thing, though, with Dark Souls. So we know the Switch isn't the most powerful console out there.
It's still pretty good, considering it's an old game.
But it's being remastered in, like, 4K and stuff.
I don't think
how many FPS is Blighttown going to run in?
You know,
5,
Blighttown was fixed in the PC, and even then, it's totally...
Once you walk into Blighttown and you're on the top there,
you know,
we're talking 5-6 FPS.
I was lucky that, like, I had the experience from the 360 to start off with the fucking master key so that I don't go through Blighttown. And even then, it still felt a little bit weird.
Yeah.
It definitely plays better on the PC, that's for sure, which is why I've hated going back to the fucking Xbox 360 version.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have an Xbox 360 anymore, and I never want to go back.
Right.
I mean, I found my old Xbox 360, so if I wanted to, I could.
Yeah.
Maybe I should, just so I could get some gameplay footage of it, just to remember the good old days.
Yeah.
But holy shit, it's the worst thing ever.
Once you go into like Blighttown,
you go from 30 frames per second, right? 30 frames to like
it's normally 30 and then
15.
Yeah, Blighttown's like 10 to 15. It's bad.
It's a notable frame drop. Like it's like it's like watching like buffering YouTube videos just like on the live. It's terrible.
Yeah, I remember feeling that like. Whenever the Dark Souls on PC came out, my old PC was pretty good for the time, and I remember the first walk into Blighttown, I was like, "Oh my god, this thing's gonna melt." It's bad.
You know, and I have a decent gaming laptop, and even then, you know, it kind of gets a little toasty. And I'm thankful that I don't have any mods to make it even prettier. So just saying, you know.
But we'll see if they optimize it or if they leave it as is. I guess
maybe the remastered will do something.
They haven't said if they're adding anything. I mean, as far as I can tell, it's just, you know, it's 60 FPS for PC, 30 for the rest of the consoles, 4K on most things. Of course, adding the DLC, and otherwise it seems to be just the same thing, which I may buy it if it actually runs better. I don't need to remod it and shit. Just having that peace of mind, not having to remod it every time I want to play it, is nice. But we'll see what happens.
Well,
but it's coming out on May 25th, so
one of these days you're gonna have to help me out with my modding, because I'm still new to modding, and I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I need someone with a little more expertise to help me out.
Alright, so a couple more things down the line here. So, do you know about Yume Nikki? I'm sure you know of it.
Yume Nikki, can you describe?
So this is the old Japanese RPG maker game with the little girl, and you get to travel through her dreams.
No, but
the girl with the checker shirt that, you know, Puke-chan is, as she's been described as.
Nope.
On the internet.
I feel like I've seen the Puke-chan meme.
You've probably seen the meme at the very least.
Oh boy, I'm scared. You made me key.
But it was originally
Nope, I don't recognize this. So I recognize the girl. I just don't recognize
So yeah, the game is
It kind of reminds me a little bit of what's it called? Yomawari Night Alone.
Right.
But I don't think it's the same girl. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. But it was an old game that was just this big open-ended, essentially probably one of the first walking simulators ever made, essentially. Just this Japanese RPG Maker game, and it got put onto Steam, so you can actually just download it on Steam now. It's free, as the game's always been. It's always been a free game, so you can download it on there now. And then the creator put up a countdown on their website that's got about 11 days left, I think, now.
What's the countdown for?
They don't know. So that's the thing. We don't know if it's going to be like some kind of sequel, if it's going to be some kind of new project that he's doing or something.
Or if
but
he's gonna take it down.
He's literally never done anything since this game that was made a while back. But honestly, you should try it out sometime. Again, it's free. You can literally get it on Steam now. It's just one of those games that you just kind of trip out and just you see all these weird things. You kind of there's no like talking or anything like that. There's no real coherent story. You just travel through her dreams, and you kind of learn about her character and maybe her life through her dreams and things like that. And it's kind of just one of those really mysterious things, and it's never been described or fully fleshed out by the creator. He never said what his intentions were or what her backstory actually is and stuff like that. So it's
maybe a part two. Maybe a part two.
People have speculated that maybe it's going to be an anime because there was a manga adapted from it at some point, but
I don't know how I feel.
No one knows really. It's one of
those
those
like making a Toho anime. You just don't do it.
But Yume Niki's kind of one of just like those cult classics at this point. That's just kind of has this clout as this really mysterious, games that's kind of just been there for a long time and just has this weird vibe to it.
All right. Okay. So, I'll probably check it out.
It's worth going on. I mean, you can jump in there for like a half hour and then just come out of it and be like, what the fuck, but you do have to pretty much have to have a guide to ever complete it fully and see everything. There's just so many like spread out events between the different worlds inside of it and stuff like that you kind of just get lost traveling around and just checking the things out. It's kind of cool.
Okay, well, I don't know. If it's free, I'll probably check it out and have it added to the Steam library. So
again, it's free, so you can pretty much just check it out anytime, which is nice. So,
right.
So one thing that I'm hyped about here, Final Fantasy XII Zodiac Age is finally getting put on Steam, February 1st.
Okay.
So
13's not coming to Steam now, is it?
13 is already on Steam. 13, 1, 2, and 3 are already on Steam.
Is 12 the MMO?
12 is not. 11 and 14 are the MMOs.
Okay. Alright.
So 12 is one that came out on PS2 originally, and then it got a remaster called the Zodiac Age, which got put on PS3 and PS4 later on. And now they're putting it on Steam, which I've been waiting for essentially. I kind of feared they were going to, but that's one of the only mainline Final Fantasy games I haven't played, so I'm pretty excited about that.
So they just announced that they're going to put it on Steam.
Exactly. And just today, I believe, they said they're putting it out, and it's going to be out February 1st, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
So next month. Alright, I'll give it a check out since I've got nothing better to do, and I mean,
if you're going to check out a Final Fantasy on Steam, just pick up 7.
I already have 7.
Then fucking play.
I can't get up the ladder.
What ladder?
I can't. I just can't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the beginning.
In the reactor?
In the reactor. I can't get up the ladder.
I press the action button?
Circle? There's no action button.
I'm pretty sure it tells you on the
I've tried going as many angles as I could, and I guess
if I bring this up right now in front of you on Steam and do it,
maybe it's just probably one of those things that just translates differently because it is a port, and it's kind of wonky on the controls, I guess. But it's once I get past that, I'll probably be able to play it.
I'll just say I have played the PC port, and I have every single achievement on there, so I know it works.
Maybe it's because it is my second Final Fantasy game. So
I think you just need to be brave.
I need to figure out how to get up that ladder.
All right.
So
I'll leave it to you. I'll leave it to you to figure that out. But
maybe,
but for now, at least maybe just 6% of 5.
No, I didn't play that much of it, so that's probably why, and I haven't really gone back, and I'd have to install it. So yeah, I'll probably play Persona 5 just because
you're already on it.
Stylish.
You're already on it, so might as well keep going with it. Devote your next month of your life to it.
All right. So is that all for your news segment?
Go for yours.
All right. So I guess I might as well start with the hardest news segment. But as you all know, I am a Destiny 2 player. And, Sean, why don't you get close to me? So
Okay.
you
want to see the development update that they probably copy pasted from Destiny 1?
Hopefully not. Hopefully it is. So, there's a lot that they've promised, and they're gonna start off.
So
with...
we'll see if the promises come true. So I know one thing that people have complained about is that a lot of these things that they're putting back in are things that they took away from Destiny 1.
No, I think it's a lot of the things now. Just as a Destiny 2 player, is that the problem was they locked people out of certain things that they previously could have before the new DLC came out.
Right.
So right now is expansions are going to be purchasable updates. New story, blah blah blah, season pass, blah blah blah. Iron Banner. That's not that important. Eververse. This is kind of a big thing because Eververse is their basically cosmetic loot box shit. It seems, just from what they're implying, we're shifting the balance of new content in favor of activity rewards over bright engrams.
Right.
So it seems like they'll probably be adding activity only, like cosmetic items, which is what they had in Destiny 1. So it's not loot box, it just means you gotta work for it. And they're trying to move away from the incentivized loot boxes thing, which has pretty much bit them in the ass. And beginning February 13th, when their fucking Valentine's event comes around, is that they're gonna be giving a lot of good stuff, like completing Nightfall raids, and Crimson Day milestones will reward you with exclusive legendary emotes, blah blah blah. Players will earn double engrams. Okay, so basically double drops basically. XP rates is gonna be a little bit revamped. Masterwork updates. So basically, armor is gonna get this whole masterwork thing, like the weapons are right now. It's basically a little slight upgrade to the weapons that you're gonna be using.
Yeah.
There's something more important that I wanna talk about, which is basically competitive.
Right.
Totally neglected.
It's a bunch of PvP stuff, right?
Yeah. So a bunch of PvP stuff is gonna be getting scoring. So competitive is gonna get a rank. You know, you'll have an elo ladder. So that's something I'm looking forward to, because maybe that's what I like PvP. It's just I felt it wasn't really a lot to get into, because I burn myself in an hour basically and just do something else. So they're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff to make an incentivized thing about, you know, competitive being fun. Plus, I mean, it's not fun when like your enemy fucking like drops out and there's only one person playing on the enemy side of the team. Right. So basically, they're gonna be kind of like penalizing people for that. So I'm happy for that. PC tower chat. Okay, tower chat. This is what the PC definitely needs, because I am aware that you can't shit talk to your companions.
Okay.
You can only shit talk to your companions, and you can't shit talk to anyone else in the open.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's not happening in the 360 and the Xbox 360. The Xbox is not happening, so it's gonna be kind of a bummer. And it's just a little bit of quality of life stuff. But they're here, spring 2018. They're promising a lot of changes basically. And there we go. Crucible rank is gonna be coming around spring. Around spring, new Crucible updates will be happening. Private matches. So you'll be able to like play Crucible with your friends in a private thing. And 6v6. Original Destiny had 6v6.
Right.
And aside from that, there's just gonna be a bunch of fixes happening. And I can't even go into about there's just so much, like literally there's just so much that they're promising. And PC clan chat, exotic accessory tabs. Alright.
So do you think with these changes that you'll ever have a chance to get your chest?
I feel even after I get my chest, if these changes do happen, and let's say I did get the chess piece and I quit, I might come back.
Okay.
As a Destiny player, I might actually come back legitimately if they totally turn around from their, pay to win activities and like punishing fucking rewards. Like,
yeah,
it's a fucking bitch to like play Destiny and not hate it.
Right.
So they're promising a lot, they're fixing a lot, and they have heard the shit. So they've heard the community backlash and they feel it. And fucking Activision, yeah, it's promising. It's just too promising to ignore, man. It's just
hopefully we'll see.
And now that gets out of that. Now that that's out of the way, you mentioned Dark Souls Remastered. I'm happy for that. But on the subject of Final Fantasy, I have discovered Cup Ramen again.
Ooh, Cup Ramen.
So
that's been a point of contention for Final Fantasy fans, especially here. Well, not anymore, but 2017, which was the 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy, and Cup Ramen was everywhere endorsing Final Fantasy 15 and otherwise.
Nissin Cup Ramen is
Nissin Cup Ramen.
The most average of Cup Ramen. It's the household item, basically, at this point.
Even though it was, I think I ranted on this one of our other episodes about the Final Fantasy 30th anniversary, right? And I didn't even mention Cup Ramen in that rant.
Was that about Cuphead?
But one of the biggest announcements that they had for the Final Fantasy 30th anniversary was that Cup Ramen was in Final Fantasy 15, and that there was a Final Fantasy themed Cup Ramen pack.
In real life or in the
real
game?
life?
Okay, see, that's what I'm getting at.
That was one of their biggest announcements for the 30th anniversary. Like, what the fuck?
Cup Ramen, we partnered with Nissin to advertise the game. Now, just hear me out on this.
But there is Nissin in 15.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Alright, but hear me out on this. Like, it's one thing going to the store and, just browsing around, getting stuff for your groceries. It's another thing to find something well-known like Final Fantasy, if you're a weeb like me and a weeb like you, to see Cloud and what's their name, Lightning, in Cup Ramen form, Oh god. No, not even that fancy, man.
See.
Okay, see? No.
Every single Final Fantasy.
That's the Japanese. That's Japanese. Look at the American. You should look. There's only 3. Legitimately, you get Cloud, you get Lightning, and you get something else.
I haven't seen the American one. I've seen the Japanese Cup Ramen pack here.
It's ridiculous. It threw me off. There. No. Yeah, there.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Can you tell me who one of those is?
That is Kain.
Kain
from Final Fantasy 4.
Okay.
Cloud from 7
and Lightning from 13.
Yeah.
So that's it's definitely a fucking trip when you come face to face with Cloud in the ramen section. Podcast people, you're not seeing this, but I'm seeing something very beautiful right now on screen. But
Noctis with his cup noodle hat.
Yes. Is that an in-game item?
It is.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, so it's beautiful, man. If you think of it this way, they're advertising to the core people.
Yeah.
Which are people who which are anime weebs who eat cup ramen for a living.
I mean, it's a little bit better than the other stuff they advertised for the 30th anniversary, which was cake and wine and fucking $700 crystal wine glasses, which is not their core audience.
Own said crystal wine glass?
Who do they think their fucking audience is?
Fucking
that can
poor
afford
people who can afford
$700 crystal wine glass.
You can afford a $60 game. You could definitely save up for a $700 wine glass.
Exactly. That's why I just thought it was mind blowing how crazy that whole thing was with their 30th anniversary. Just blew my mind. But cup noodle, it makes more sense, but at the same time they went overboard with it. It's at some points where
I guess it's because you're used to the whole thing. I mean you've seen the whole side of it differently, but this is my first interaction, my first contact with the cup ramen Final Fantasy, and it's totally refreshing. Like, I loved it. I was just like, what the fuck is this? And like, I was there with like one of my friends, Adam, and he's like, oh god, I'm gonna buy it. And I'm just like, please tell me you're gonna eat it. No. And that means he's just gonna have it sitting on his shelf for an X amount of time, probably forever, as a memorial item. And well, it was just nice to see it. You know, I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
that's in the game, right?
That is in the game.
That image is in the game.
That is from 15.
It's so hyper realistic.
But
it's actually even better than real life ramen.
Exactly. But yeah, a lot of actual Final Fantasy fans had big problems with it because they went so overboard with the advertising and the whole fact that they prioritized advertising Cup Noodle over anything actually Final Fantasy related for their 30th anniversary. Just like pissed fans off. Imagine 30 years of your franchise and you advertise Cup Noodles instead of something like the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Cup Noodles, I'll take Cup Noodles over fucking like $700 wine glasses any day.
But they have both.
That's their mistake.
Okay. Yeah, it was one of those things where some people liked it, some people were just like, come on, you couldn't have done this at a better time. But
yeah, no,
30 years of your franchise and all you can give us is Cup Noodle.
Cup Noodle. Well, you know, it was fucking a trip to see, and I think that's definitely newsworthy. On another note, you know, we're gonna go to a little bit of a darker side. You know, a little bit dark.
How dark are we going?
How much do you know about Marvel?
Depends.
Well,
a little bit.
Do you know
Not
about
too
Me
much.
Too? The Me Too hashtag?
No, I don't actually.
Alright, so to give you a context on the Me Too hashtag, it's kind of like a campaign about sexual harassment and all that stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. For some reason, I was just picturing it in my head, like MITU or some shit like that, and I was like, what the fuck is Me Too? But no, Me Too, yeah. Yeah, as in myself also.
Okay, so
yeah, I do know what you mean now.
There's a bunch of stuff that's been going on where, like, you know, people are accusing people of sexual harassment and all this stuff.
Right.
And, you know, there's no real allegations to... I mean, there's a lot of allegations, but it's one thing to say it and another thing to, like, have facts and, like, actually, if this really did happen, you should really go forward with the police and go through due process. And it's just how the way our society should work, you know, and you really should do it, which is kind of a little ridiculous in my opinion that people aren't doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where I'm going with this is they went too far. The Me Too movement did go too far in targeting my beloved man, Stan Lee.
Mm.
So Stan Lee has been hit from a unnamed retirement, kind of like medical staff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So just one of those people that like go, they take care of the elderly and more or less, you know, they do their job and, you know, leave, come back, leave, you know, they I guess they get different people, and this is just a celebrity thing. Allegations were just recently thrown out at Stan Lee, and you know, they just from what I see right now, it just feels like they're just throwing a good man under the bus. Not to mention that his wife recently died.
I mean, there's just so many of those allegations going around now. It's like you literally can't tell what's real and not. You know, it's kind of ridiculous. Like it's like every single day, it's like just another one. It's like, is this even real or not, or is this?
Well, the thing is, like, the difficulty about the Me Too movement is it's just a bunch of allegations.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
if no one follows it up, then what's the point of saying this happened? I mean, it should happen. And this is what I'm getting at with Stan Lee. The people that did the allegation basically said that, you know, Stan Lee did this. Marvel, being, you know, Marvel, sent a cease and desist, and they pretty much went through with it to the media.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my problem. Like they didn't go through due process. They didn't call the police. So it just means that these people are just asking for money, and they're
Generally, yeah.
throwing down. They're just throwing Stanley out of the bus, who is just the kindest man I've ever met. Like I kid you not, the kindest man, and like he lost his wife of like I have no idea how many years, a good long time.
Yeah.
Like he's a heartbroken man. He's like over 90. Like if sexual harassment did happen, it's one thing for Harvey Weinstein. It's another thing to get away from a 90-year-old man. They have no grip.
Right.
It's just if this is a legitimate claim, it's sad. I totally would understand, and I mean, even then, I'd probably support it, but just from my reasoning, it just does not feel like this is a legitimate freaking sexual harassment claim. And you're targeting the one person who has actually had the solid career of being a great guy, and not to mention he's in a vulnerable state where he's over 90, lost his wife, and I mean, you're doing this to him.
Right.
It's gross. I mean, I'm shaking right now. Like, it's just fucking disgusting. Why would you target a 90-year-old guy who's widowed and like spent his entire career making American culture great? Just making people happy. It's just totally disgusting.
Yeah, I see it. I see that for sure.
And all right, so let's go on a better note. YouTube finally cuts off Logan Paul over the suicide forest.
Yeah, so he made a two really terrible videos, but one specifically one,
where he
filming in the suicide forest in Japan, wearing a stupid Monsters Inc. hat, basically looking for something to find, and he found it.
Monsters Inc. I actually thought that was Toy Story.
It could be it's Toy Story, but he found a suicide victim, and then ended up really disrespecting them, essentially laughing at them, kind of just him and his friends and everything. And he eventually took the video down, but then he still made a bad video afterwards, just disrespecting so many other things in Japanese culture with their stores, just a bunch of stuff. I won't get into that, but YouTube actually finally did something against their golden child. They gave him a strike on his account.
Yeah.
They
shelved his projects.
Yeah, shelved his YouTube Red shows, and then they took him away from Google's preferred ad revenue thing, whatever they do for that, for picking the people that they prefer to show the ads on and stuff like that. So at least something happened. It's a little bit just like a slap on the wrist kind of thing, because he'll still go on, but at least he knows there are consequences for being a fucking jackass, pretty much.
So yeah, honestly, YouTube would definitely be better off without Logan Paul, and even then, it's not going to change the fact that a lot of people are getting grilled by like just the way YouTube runs things.
Yeah, YouTube's just, I don't know. They've gone this whole direction where they're trying to really just become another TV type of thing, which really sucks, because that kind of just devalues the whole point of YouTube and what its platform is unique for, and being able to give anyone who wants to be a content creator a chance to really make it. And they're kind of going away from that, and they just want to basically just put all these TV stars on there and just become TV 2.0, which is kind of lame, but who knows what the future will hold on that. So any other news you have?
I guess the last news I have to close off with is the mudslide on the 101.
Yeah, so
far I think 17 or 19 people are dead because of this terrible mudslide.
I saw 17 earlier today. A bunch of people missing, many injured. So currently the 101 freeway between Santa Barbara and Carpinteria, and then I believe also from Carpinteria to Ventura, is covered in mud and blocked off. And you right now it's closed indefinitely until further notice, essentially.
Definitely. I mean, I know a lot of people who are kind of out of the job. That's a different story. Just because the 101 is closed and 70 people are dead. But
Yeah, my coworkers. Yeah, there's people that have died. I mean, literally, it was like a mile and a half from where we currently are right now. In my house, where people died, lost their houses, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of crazy. It was bad stuff.
okay, so sorry, I got distracted there. So, one thing that isn't being mentioned is just how much this mud flood has impacted the area. Besides the 17 dead, there's a bunch of people who aren't working right now.
I mean, there's basically in Santa Barbara, a lot of people commute from other places because it's way less expensive to live there as opposed to here. So yeah, there's a lot of people out of the job right now, including 5, I believe, of my coworkers even that just can't get into town without either taking the train or, well, actually they can't get anywhere because some of them are literally trapped where they are and they can't go north or south.
Well, they could probably go south, but they can't come in.
Yeah, exactly.
North.
So.
And I mean, it depends where you are, I guess. But I mean, I know people in Ventura can't come in, and I know people in Santa Barbara can't go out.
People in Carver are essentially stuck where they are.
So, I just know this just because we live in a nice hilly area where we have nice houses. We have we're basically fucking like. I'm not saying we're fucking like the Hamptons, but we're pretty much the Hamptons. We got nice houses, nice people, nice rich people living here. So, I know from the fact that the Biltmore Hotel and a few other hotels in nearby Montecito area are totally shit on right now. There's a bunch of like water damage and just a bunch of like remodeling needs to be done for this to happen. Fortunately for my mom, at least, she's getting paid for it all. So she's basically getting a paid vacation.
Yeah.
And it just kind of makes me happy, but at the same time, it's a total disaster.
Yeah. Totally.
You shouldn't. There's a silver lining there. But I also know there's a bunch of fucking damage in the hill areas. Like,
there's
a bunch of damage. Like, it's totally terrible.
I think there's some like over 100 structures have been taken out or damaged. So it's pretty
I'd say
insane.
Taken out maybe 100, but definitely a lot more in damages.
Right.
And it's just like, hey, if the fire wasn't enough to kill us, this mudslide.
The timing could not have been worse. It was just.
It's totally terrible. I mean, like I said, Mother Nature tried to kill us, but here we are again. So
and then just me being, an entitled, selfish boy here. I'm hoping they have the 101 cleared before the 20th because we got to go to LA.
How about we ferry? I'm willing to pay for a ferry. How are we getting there, by the way?
Basically, if we can't take the 101, the other choices we're going to go north, take the 166, and then take the 5 down to LA, which is a 4-hour drive, 4.5-hour drive.
Red Bull? All right, I'm down.
So that's the other option.
So
let's
give a little context to this, though. So, Sean, what's happening on the 20th of January?
At the 20th is the Final Fantasy Distance Worlds Orchestra in Los Angeles at the Microsoft Theater. So I've been wanting to go to a Distant Worlds concert for like 6 years now, and then finally got the opportunity, but then been cucked by a fucking flood into trying to stop me from my dream
of seeing the Final Fantasy symphony.
But
which I'm thankful that you've chosen to invite me.
Yeah,
I'm very thankful. I mean, it's on a Saturday, but if it was on a weekday, I'd have definitely called in sick.
But yeah, so we may end up just fucking leaving early as hell in the morning, taking a 4-hour drive around the mountains to get into LA, and then chill in LA for a while, go see that. If it's the traffic's bad stuff, we may just stay at a hotel and then leave early in the morning, like 6 a.m. or something, come back to Santa Barbara, in the morning, but we'll figure that out once we know more. So.
Well, like, I agree. You know, this month thought is bad. I mean, there's some silver lining that you look at, but I mean, overall, it's just a double whammy. We just had a fire, and
biggest fire in California's like history,
since,
and then
you know, I mean, the biggest actually. It's topped every other, right?
Yeah, and then we have like basically we haven't had rain in like over a year, and then we all of a sudden get the hardest rain we've gotten like in years.
On that note of the fire, we found the original cause.
Huh. Was it SoCal Edison or
it was SoCal Edison?
Okay.
Their job is basically to have these certain equipment to prevent these sort of things when they're on site,
right.
And it turns out they didn't. So hey, thanks SoCal Edison. You totally made our day and fucking year already.
Yeah,
great.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not gonna get a discount on my electric bill either.
No. I mean, if anything, give us free electricity for a year. We'll probably forgive you. Probably not. But it's a start. But fuck you.
Yeah.
So, all right. So
I guess it's time to move on to the next segment.
Now on to happier news.
So
now that we are out of the news,
now we're talking about 2017 again. What are we talking about in 2017 here?
Well, you see, my friend, I think we had to come up with a list of top 5 anime and games.
Yeah,
right?
So we're gonna sum up what the games and anime that we played and watched in 2017. Not necessarily that came out in 2017, but that we personally experienced or played essentially, and see what we got into that were our favorites over the entire year.
All right. Well, if you don't mind me starting off,
absolutely.
Persona 5. As you know, it's a game I thankfully I'll probably get on my own since I need to return your copy, and you certainly have a special box right there. It came with that, right?
Wait, what? Oh yeah. I can see. Yeah, I got the special edition with everything, all the juiciness, the Morgana plush, the bag, the school bag.
Which I don't see right now.
He's in the box still.
Okay, so you didn't take it out. Actually, which is weird because
yeah, it's got the steel case.
In Japanese, it's a he, and in English, it's a she.
No, it's always a he. I don't know where you got the idea that it's a she.
The name.
It's just Morgana, but no,
right.
it's a he.
It's not even a gender neutral name.
And he's all about Anne.
Okay.
You're gonna find that out.
Oh, I'll probably find that out soon.
You'll know all about Morgana later. But
so
they refer to him as a he.
Like Sean mentioned, I have played a short amount of time, and there's gonna be a lot more goodies down the road. And as a person who just got into the Persona series, I feel I'm gonna enjoy this game, and I feel that anyone will enjoy this game. I mean,
just about, yeah. It's hard. It's really hard, even if you hate those kinds of games, to hate that game.
Yeah, I mean, like Donkey said, he hates JRPGs and
he hates JRPGs and anime and all this stuff.
Yeah, he likes Persona 5.
For some reason, he still likes Persona 5.
You see, because downright Persona 5 is all that stuff, but at its core, it's still a great game.
Exactly.
And I feel it. And this next one, I'm sure you're gonna agree with me. Honeycam. I mean,
okay,
it's not Honey Pop.
I personally didn't like Honeycam that much.
Okay.
Like, I played it for a little while, but I don't know. Out of those kind of clicker type of games, I found it less fun than some other ones. I mean, I don't like those games to begin with, but
I mean, yeah, that's true.
But that game, I didn't even get far enough to see any titties, if there are any.
I guess I'd say it's a safe kind of like from the game creator at least that made Honey Pop.
Right.
It's a really safe game, like compared to like the other stuff. What isn't what isn't safe for work is basically the premise where you're just a guy starting a camp studio like business, and you're hiring girls to do certain things. I guess what I like about it is the lewdness.
It does have some underlying lewdness to it.
It's got a lot of subtext to it, right. And I mean, it's one of those games that's just simple to get and hard to master.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what makes it good in my opinion, what makes it great in my opinion is you could start it up and just have a good time playing it. I mean, like,
I can see that.
I've tried different strategies. I mean, it's definitely not like passive exile, but you can have a good time sitting down and spend maybe 3 hours going through the game or more, and having repeat funds. And plus, I mean,
Right.
it's a collectible. It has collectibles on it, so it's kind of an incentive to get through that too.
Right.
And so far, I have not gotten the top prize of the view count, subscriber count. I mean,
Right. Okay.
so I've been trying my ass off to get
Yeah,
get there.
I never got far enough to get there, but I don't know. Maybe I'll pick it up again, but most likely not.
All right, my next game that's in my top 5, and I'm saying right now it's in no particular order.
Okay.
But Stellaris, it's one
Right.
of those games that like.
Yeah, you've mentioned that many times throughout our cast, so you definitely enjoy it.
It's I like space sims. I definitely like the idea of like managing galactic-wide economy, a galactic-wide economy, and it's got a lot of things in it that just makes the game pretty micromanageable. It really keeps you busy, and I mean, I've had fun making some atmospheric changes, in my opinion, just by listening to music. And if you like real-time strategies and you like exploring and you like flavor text of games, this one has everything like you could possibly ask for in a space galaxy simulator, I guess. And it's even if you mess up, you learn a lot from it. I mean, it's a good time. But it's it's just kind of a dirty casual thing. You only have so much time in a day to play video games and watch anime. And this is one of those games, in my opinion, that just whenever I get the chance, and if I ever feel like it, I don't regret playing it. And I definitely recommend Stellaris. Plus, it's got a huge mod community, like amazingly huge mod community. And my next game is Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm. So I guess mostly talking about the new expansion.
I'm not even going to be talking about the new okay, I have a few new cards in my deck for the new expansion, which just adds a little bit more. But downright, my deck is basically an RNG surprise in every. It's basically a box of chocolate kind of deck. You never know what you're exactly gonna get. You can only hope it goes in your favor, and even then, it's just meant to like outlast the other person. So if you're playing against a fast deck, you're totally gonna get fucked unless you get lucky.
Yeah.
And
I think I fucked you with my old 2005 or 2015 Hunter deck.
On that note, I did fight someone who kind of had a similar deck as yours, and like. Just from the look of the draw, I had this card that was like, it's a new card basically, but because it's an RNG deck, you get all the spell cards.
Okay.
So like, you never know what you're gonna get. So
yeah,
bam, this card was 5-drop. Play this card, randomly draw a card from your deck, a spell card from your deck, and deal that much damage to all enemy minions, basically.
Right.
And if you know my deck, all my minions are all my spells are basically 3 or more. It's a board wipe, almost guaranteed. Especially for those lesser drops. And if you get that in turn 5, it's a savior. You're just like, oh my god. Boom. Praise. And even then, you have Yogg-Saron, who is my patron saint, my lord and savior, my Cthulhu god. And he does the same thing. You never know what spells he's gonna play. You don't know if he's gonna go through all the cycling of all the spells you've played, or kill himself on the first spell. And I've had that. You've seen that too.
I have.
It's,
I have.
Hearthstone gives me a lot, and even then, like, I'm a casual. I love playing with these decks, and people apparently seem to love playing against me. Either that, or they add me just so they could say an angry message at me, and it's just totally worth it.
Yeah.
And the last game with Sean. Last chance. Do you want me to gift this to you or not?
I don't know.
Dawn of War. Original. Not Dawn of War 2. Not Dawn of War 3. The original Dawn of War. Not just any Dawn of War. I'm not playing the original Dawn of War. I'm playing the Ultimate Apocalypse mod.
Okay.
Which totally adds a lot of stuff that Dawn of War needed. And if you're into the Dawn of War series, chances are you have this mod with this game. And I totally recommend it. It's a blast. I mean, it gives you a lot of faction stuff. You need all that, by the way. You need Dawn of War has had a lot of expansions, so you'd have Dawn of War, Game of the Year, Dark Crusade, Soulstorm, Winter Assault. Okay, so it's Game of the Year, Winter Assault, Dark Crusade, and Soulstorm, which is the last expansion for Dawn of War 1. And on top of all that, you need to install the Ultimate Apocalypse mod. For every expansion you have, it just makes it great. Like, it adds new balances. It adds new characters. It increases the it does a lot of freaking quality of life stuff, and it just makes the Titanic thing of Dawn of War's epic scale battle even more epic scale battle.
So at least you don't have to worry about gifting it to me. I think I played this a long time ago, maybe 2011, 2010 maybe.
And did you have a good time?
I don't really remember. I think I don't like that it's kind of more hero-based RTS than anything.
Oh, no. It's not hero-based RTS compared to Dawn of War 2 and Dawn of War 3. But this one is basically Dawn of War Ultimate Apocalypse mod is it's really one of those RTSs that makes the Dawn of War franchise look fucking amazing. Like, it's what Epic wanted but couldn't never do. And it's one of those games you see what I mean? You still have to pay a good hefty price for.
Yeah, so even now it's like
if
you're buying it by yourself, it's $38.
And that's I remember buying this for $60.
I think I bought this for like $10 at some point, bundled with a ton of other stuff. Essentially I got it for $10. I think I bought a $60 pack that had like 20 games in it, something like that, and Warhammer was in there. So I didn't buy the pack just for Warhammer. I bought it for some other stuff.
Okay, well,
but
I'm a huge Warhammer fan.
I have the entire Dawn of War franchise on Steam.
Oh my gosh! All right, so
the $140. I feel like I did not buy this. I must have gotten it with something else when it was dirt cheap. But that's cool to know. So.
I'll tell you this, I you talk about like RTSs that are like fucking amazing, and I think just as someone who's played it, it's got a lot to offer. It's literally made by a community that loves this franchise to fuck, and I mean, like, they make it, they sell it to me as a great product, and I mean, it's free. Like, now that you have all this all the stuff, all the expansions, and you just have to get this simple mod that you just install, and you're set. That's it. You get a bunch of maps. Some of the maps are double the size of the biggest map, and it's amazing. And
I'll definitely check it out at some point this year. I mean, I have a lot of stuff to play now. Like I said, Final Fantasy 12 is coming out soon. 15 is coming out for PC soon. So it'll definitely be on my list down the line once I'm in like a more free period.
At least I don't have to
exactly.
gift it to you.
You'll just have to remind me later on whenever I'm looking for something to play.
Plus, I need to fight someone. Someone on my part, on my level.
I'll get good, and then I'll challenge you one day.
Alright. So, what are your top 5 games in order?
So my 5 teams. So mine are actually in order. I put myself accountable, and made it where I had to put them in order.
Okay.
So I gave myself that responsibility here. So number 5 coming in, Hollow Knight. I recommended this game before, so it's a Metroidvania game, indie. Definitely one of the best Metroidvanias I've played in a while. Has amazing atmosphere. It's got this really dark atmosphere with like bug theme to it, and it's very well made. The controls are nice. Combat's fluid, movement's fluid. It's really well done, and it was just really cool. Like it definitely kept me captivated for the whole time. And usually Metroidvanias don't last that long, but I think this probably took me maybe 25-30 hours, which is pretty good for one of those kinds of games. They're usually closer to like a 10-15 hour kind of game, so I definitely got my money's worth out of it. And number 4, another Metroidvania, possibly one of the mothers of Metroidvanias I played this year or last year, Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo.
That did catch my eye.
Yeah, that game is amazing. I actually hadn't played it. I've played tons of other Metroidvania games up until that point, but played one of the originals, the big boys. That game is fantastic, and you can just tell how well crafted everything is, and how meticulously they created the map to just have Metroidvania values of having good level design and opening up new areas as you get new abilities and equipment and kill other bosses and stuff. It's really well done.
Okay.
It's really fluid. There's really cool bosses. You kind of just learn about the planet as you kind of just explore this areas, and super cool game. So if you haven't played Super Metroid, then that's definitely the one to play if you haven't played any Metroid games.
And it's on PC?
It's on Super Nintendo only. So
okay.
Yeah. Maybe one day they'll. I think they actually did. Or no, that was a different Metroid. They recently put one of the Metroids on 3DS, but I think it was Super Metroid 2 or something like that. It was one of the further ones.
Okay.
So my next 3 top games of the year were are JRPGs here. So we've got Tales of Berseria at number 3. So
a game that I have right now.
So definitely an upgrade from the last Tales games I played, which is Scheria. Berseria was amazing. The combat was so much better than any other Tales game I've played. The story was good. I loved the characters a lot. Everything about that game was just really well done. The story may be a little bit lacking, but really the characters are what pull you into Tales games usually. All the character interactions and everything, and usually the combat. Zesteria's combat was really weak and actually plainly sucked.
I remember the bullshit Zesteria did.
Yeah, Zesteria even got the anime, which was vastly disappointing, except for the three episodes in the anime at the beginning, which were actually a teaser for Berseria, were the best episodes. Funny enough, and then that's what got me into really wanting Berseria, because they showed that in the anime, and I was like, man, I really want that game. That was Hysteria.
Alright.
And so that game was really good. The combat was just amazing. I never got bored of the combat in that game.
Well, I own it, and I have it installed on the hard drive, so
that's one of the ones you have to play. But after my number 2, Persona 5. So that didn't make it on my number 1 spot this year, but Persona 5, I smashed through that whole thing, ending up something like 95 hours played. Amazing game.
And you're telling me Persona 5 made it number 2?
Made number 2, which is it's not too light. I pick my games very carefully what I play. So.
And this is coming from you who loaned the game to me.
I loaned it to you. I've told everyone.
Don't expect it back for 90 hours. I mean, don't expect it back till like maybe the end of the year. Maybe I'll ask for it in summer, something like that. No. See where you're at. No.
If you're not at least halfway through the game, then we've got some problems.
Well, I have a life, so
But once you pick up Persona 5, you have to abandon your life.
I have to abandon most of it, just for
your friends,
game.
Your parents.
But there's another game that's your number 1, and that's what worries me. Now, what would that be?
So Nier Automata,
I knew it.
that game really pulled me in. So that game, literally after I beat that game, I didn't play another game for 3 months after that.
Like you,
It literally just kind of broke me in a way. Like I was just like on a daily basis, I was just contemplating things about the game, about its story, about its message, listening to the music. It literally just like it did something to me like that just really really resonated with me a lot.
yeah, I and I gotta admit, just from a game that's made by just Platinum Games, the game that gave me Bayonetta,
Mm-hmm.
I love it, but
Yeah.
um, I can't play it sober. I
But
just can't.
one day we'll get you in there. But
I'll get
Yeah,
I'll get on the horse sometime after
but
Persona 5, but I really
Yoko
want to play it.
Taro's a mad scientist who just created something so perfect that everything is so great about that. The combat's amazing, the music's amazing, the story is, especially if you get really deep into it, it's amazing. I mean, the art, of course, looks amazing. Characters are just everything about the game is just like masterpiece quality. I can get in really deep to the game systems, but I won't. Um, in the interest of time, but that was my number one pick for this year. And then a quick honorable mention to Cuphead, which was basically my number 6. Still a good game. I had a lot of fun with it, but I think my true calling are JRPGs and Metroidvania games.
Okay.
But it still gets definitely mentioned because it was a great game.
Unfortunately, I don't have a honorable mentions for video games since I am a dirty casual. I do, however, have a top 5 of an anime.
So yeah, what were your best 2017 anime?
In no particular order, right?
For you.
Okay, for me. But for you, it's a different story. Alright, so 2017 was a bunch of animes that I either haven't watched that didn't come out that year, or did come out that year. And, well, this is my my chosen selection, which seems to be they all came out this year. Luckily enough, except for one of them, which I'll start off with.
I think mine did too, so no shame.
So I'll start off with Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. Now this came out technically last year, but it finished early this year.
Okay.
And it's not to compare myself to your life-changing experience with Nier Automata, but I had to take a break from anime for probably a good while. Not as long as yours, but I just had to take a break just because of the way Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans ended for season 2 at least.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way I could have imagined possible, the one you were rooting for, had to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
okay.
he is a child soldier, fought his entire life, knows nothing else but fighting, and like, even with a super badass mecha as a Gundam pilot, you just could not see a way for him to continue on as a character,
right.
as the franchise. Like, this is the justifiable end he could have had. So, for a little bit of context, the guy dies.
Mm-hmm.
He goes into a final battle where he's trying to buy time for his comrades. Basically, kind of more or less go underground to safety, I guess, to escape out of their more or less their destruction by the hands of the government. And they take out a lot of people while doing
Mm-hmm.
it. And it was really heart-wrenching because you're just rooting for these characters not to live, but to take out as many as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurt. It cut deep.
Okay.
And I loved it. And if anything, I'd say that's probably my top pick.
Okay. So what else you got then?
Alright, so the next one is My Hero Academia.
Okay.
Just from my perspective, it's one of those animes you can probably get anyone into, I guess. You know, it's a shonen anime.
Except me. No, I'm just kidding.
It's fine, it's fine. It's a shonen anime that gives a lot to offer.
Uh-huh.
Plus, I mean, it's not one of those high school animes where like it just revolves around the high school kids. What makes it great is that it involves the experienced heroes, it involves the inexperienced heroes, and even the villains.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put all that together, it's a really all-around great story. And I mean, it's got a lot to offer. It's, you know, it's anyone can almost dip into this dip, you know? Like,
right.
It's just one of those shows you just, in my opinion, you just can't hate unless you're just a sad person. And I mean,
what are you trying to say?
I am trying to say this. Unless
Okay.
you're a sad person
I
broken
agree.
by Nier Automata.
I agree, but
All right. No. All right, taking that back though. I mean, it's one of those intro animes almost anyone can get into.
yeah.
And I recommend it just from that.
Okay.
Now the next three, actually, I'll start with Konosuba. So my next pick is Konosuba season 2, just because I finished it, and I say that's probably the best thing that came out that year, which was surprising because it started off mediocre in the beginning, and it ended pretty decently. But it was the downright most hilarious thing I've ever seen. I mean,
I still need to fully finish all that. So
Yeah.
I've had another friend recommend it to me, so I'll definitely be getting into it.
Have you ever been so smug about anime, about ass and titties? Then you have not finished Konosuba, because that kind of is the plotline right there in season 2. Ass and titties for days. I mean, like, I love the character. I love Azuma Kazuma. He's probably the only reason I'm recommending this anime is as my top pick is because of that guy. He is hilarious. He is a joke. He is amazing because he is so relatable. And even then, how would you feel if you had money, had all this smugness, and you know, how would you not be like him? You know, it's just like, oh yeah, you know, I have money and all this shit, but I still love ass and titties. And I mean, I love it. He's just humorous and funny. I liked it. And now these next two, I'm just gonna list off because they're just close to my heart already as a franchise.
Okay.
Starship Troopers, Trader of Mars.
I watched that with you.
It came out this November or October?
No, it was probably October. I think it was. Right. Yeah.
No. Maybe. It was November. Was
it that recent?
It was a recent early November.
It must have been early. Yeah. Okay.
So, I've been a fan of Starship Troopers, not just Heinlein, not just the Heinlein novels, but also the Paul Van Hogen movies, and it was a real treat to actually see Paul Van Hogen get back under the horse for this project. I'd say the last Starship Troopers project before, which I hear is getting a reboot.
Okay.
Which I think it's for the good.
Animated or actually like?
I think Hollywood live action.
Again, okay.
Okay. So I'll say this
That's
much.
That's basically the majority of the experience I have with Starship Troopers. So.
Okay. So I'll tell you this much: the Paul Van Hogen movies and the books are totally different. I mean, Paul Van Hogen pokes jokes at it, whereas Starship Troopers by Heinlein is just like a straight up like, it's a really good action series if you could like consider it as that. I mean,
right.
It's really about duty before yourself and all that shit, you know. It's got a great message, and I mean, you're fighting bugs. And whereas Paul Van Hogen wanted to put a little bit of critique on a fascist society and all this shit, you know, it just, you can't compare the two, but I'd prefer the Heinlein over the Paul Van Hogen. But overall, I love the Starship Troopers franchise, and it felt great to see this send off. Plus, Hermione's the bad guy. It's not Hermione.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
but you got a fucking lolly ass fucking girl who just happens to have short red hair and have that British accent that you just kind of like.
But Hermione has long red hair.
Don't worry about those
Okay.
details.
I won't worry about it.
So if you cut Hermione's hair off to that length,
I guess she technically Emma Watson did cut her hair.
Emma Watson,
So.
it felt Emma Watson like, like it just felt great.
Okay.
And plus, she was sexy as hell.
All right.
So it had that.
All right. So what's your last one? Your last top 5?
Blame.
Okay.
The
The movie. Yeah.
came out on
I also
Netflix.
watched that with you.
I loved it. I've been a fan of Nisito Munihei since like borders shut down in Santa Barbara, which is probably 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So before then, I probably have a good decent amount of time to catch up on his decent works, and just later on after that, I definitely caught up on his works. I just haven't caught up with his new manga.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been a fan of Blame because it's one of those stories where like I theorize has the beginning and has an end that just continues to the beginning.
Right.
It just repeats in cycles because it's just that fucked up.
Yeah.
And if you think of it that way, it's just it's beautiful. I loved it, and it felt great to see an actual decent adaptation for it, and I'm happy for it.
Okay.
So I guess I'll make some honorable mentions on anime, which came out this year. Dragon Maid.
Okay.
Kind of cute. I like the guy that made I actually like the guy who made what's it called I Can't Understand My Husband. It's a cute series. Plus it's the guy's artist.
Ravioli, don't lose the dragon lolly.
Yes. Love Is Like a Cocktail.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I did like it too. I enjoyed it.
This one's probably more towards you. The Saga of Tanya the Evil.
Okay.
Which you probably know it as a different name.
Yes, Yojo Senki. I'll be mentioning that on my list personally as well, so I'll get into my opinion of that as well.
I like the overtones of World War One and Nazi Germany, basically, in that.
Mm-hmm.
And the recovery of an MMO junkie, Netju Susume, which is surprising that it didn't make it up here on this list.
Yeah, surprised because you're enjoying that one.
I loved it, but I'm sorry, I have to go true to my heart, and it wasn't there.
Okay, fair enough.
And now, what's your anime selection?
So I guess so 2017, decent. Okay, it was, I guess for me personally, pretty low on the anime count, but I had a few good ones. So my number 5, mine are in order here. So number 5 for Grimoire of Zero. So this one was about a sorceress and then a big beastman, kind of traveling together in their own pact. It really, to me, had a lot of vibes of like Spice and Wolf, but a little bit different. Kind of more of a fantasy with magic kind of thing. But their relationship between the two main characters had this Spice and Wolf kind of feel to me, which is really what appealed to me on that. The ending wasn't so great. It kind of broke off on that and went more towards the action-y kind of stuff. But at least the first like 75% of it really had this kind of Spice and Wolf thing kind of going on with it, and how the main characters acted with each other, and which I really like because I love Spice and Wolf, which I think you do too.
I love it.
Yeah,
I haven't continued season 2 because there was no dub.
Fuck off.
Actually, it's Spice and Wolf dub is one of those animes.
You need to watch. Well, you haven't seen season 2? I need to slap you the shit out of you. Okay.
It probably picks up a lot, huh?
It's really good. Anyways, so my number 4 coming in, Owari Monogatari season 2, which is actually
Monogatari series.
Monogatari series. Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't.
So this has been, yeah, that's it. That was the finish. Owari Monogatari season 2. That's it. As far as the novels and everything.
And all the movies came out, right?
Yep. So that's literally it. That was the finisher, and it was amazing. It was really well done. And just for me personally, it's been something I've been following since 2013 or something like that, maybe 2014. That series has been going on for years, and I've followed all of it, and I've always loved the Bakemonogatari or the Monogatari series, and the ending was really fucking good. So
Well, I have the movies and the show continues in season 2.
I still have to watch the last 2 Kizumonogatari movies. I've read the entire novel. I don't remember if you did. I can't remember if I lended you that novel.
I did read one of the novels and I had to return the others just out of principle.
I can't remember which. Yeah, I don't know if you read Kizumonogatari, but that one was one of my favorites.
No, I did not.
Okay.
You didn't give me Kizu.
Okay.
So I will say this. I have a sin to mention on the Monogatari series.
Okay.
I skipped the snail girl. I skipped the ghost girl for the anime.
Wait, which ghost girl?
There's
you mean snail? Okay, the same girl, yeah. Snail/ghost. The same
her.
girl, yeah.
I skipped her. I skipped her entire arc.
I don't know what to do with you, man.
I bet it's better. I bet it's better in the novel than the manga.
What do you mean the manga? You mean the
anime? I bet it's better than the novel than the anime. Yeah.
She has some of the funniest things, and she has one of the best redemption arcs in the entire series. Towards the end, I think that was in Owari Monogatari. That actually was in season 2. Yeah, in this one, Owari Monogatari season 2, she had a big redemption arc after she fully died and was taken to hell, essentially.
Okay.
And she had a full redemption thing there. It was amazing. It was really
I have
good.
a lot to continue then, and I'm pretty glad.
If you're watching from Bakemonogatari, I mean, you have like 6 seasons of anime of stuff to watch. You've got Bakemonogatari, Nisemonogatari, Nisemonogatari Black, Monogatari season 2. You've got
I'm probably halfway in those.
Owari Monogatari season 2.
And not even the movies included.
I feel like I'm missing something, but that's like 6 anime seasons, and then
the movies.
The movies, there was OVAs of like Koyomi Monogatari and what was I don't remember the doll's name, what her series was called, but she had her own thing, but there's a lot of fucking content there.
You mean the Golem?
The doll. What's her name?
Blue hair.
Yeah, blue hair girl.
Yeah, no.
She had her own 4 OVAs. I can't remember what hers was called. But anyways, good stuff regardless. But the ending was still good. I love the Monogatari series, and I will be watching the Kizumonogatari movies soon. But I've already read the novels, so I know what I'm expecting there.
All right.
Number 3 for me, Made in Abyss.
See, I need to continue that. I should have put that in the honorable mention.
I mean, if you've read the manga, you know that you're going to get suffering and despair. Even though it looks nice and happy from the first half.
Oh, no.
Man, basically, I believe it was episode 9, or maybe it was 10. 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
Had one of the scenes in it that literally made me, like, curl up and, like, cringe because it was so brutal. Mm-hmm. And painful looking that it actually like hurt me just watching it.
It hurt you. Did it touch you?
It touched me.
Alright, okay, alright.
It was done so well. Like it actually like it makes you like look at it and just feel physical pain to yourself because it's so brutal and just terrible.
Well, I mean, I need to continue it. I mean, actually, I need to even watch it. My bad, not continue. I need to watch it.
You do need to watch it. It's really good, and it has such an amazing world that they've built up around it.
It's pretty, and that's for sure.
It is very pretty, and it's such a cool world too. Like it's just such a cool fantasy world, and I know you love your masochist. You love that despair. You love the.
I did watch Madoka Magica, so yeah.
You're gonna get those same vibes, but even more painful. And it's getting the 2nd season sometime this year, later I believe.
Okay, see,
so
yeah,
it's continuing.
That's good. At least it's continuing.
Yeah. So my number 2, and I'm surprised this didn't make your list at all.
I'm scared. Why?
Kimono Friends.
Didn't that come out 2016?
I don't believe so. Let me just take a quick look.
I feel like it came out near the end of 2016.
Regardless, it doesn't have to have come out.
It's just when you.
But that's when I watched it. Yeah.
That's when you watched it, and I mean,
yeah, it did run, but I watched it. Or no, oh no, it was 2017.
Winter early 2017.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that was a 2017 anime. So
I'm gonna put that in my honorable mention right now. So you heard it first.
All right,
it's up there now.
Backtracking over here.
Backtracking here, yeah.
He forgot about one of the best shows of 2017.
I forgot about Grape Coon and his great wife. Yeah.
Just a great show overall. Literally, it was like a miracle show. It was supposed to be. So what happened was they came out with the game Kimono Friends. It was supposed to be big. They had pre-booked the anime slot ahead of time, suspecting the game would be big. The game didn't get any traction, and they canceled the game. And they said, "Well, we've already got this, anime series block. Well, let's just give it to this young animator and hope we don't lose money on it. Essentially,
hope we lose as little money as possible, basically, right?"
Exactly. And so it was expected to be a failure, and it ended up being a really good anime with literally like no budget at all, and just really a well done world. You get to learn about a bunch of different animals, their habitats. It's very cute. Also, just brings up a lot of good memes.
And it's a lot of undertones of the old game.
Exactly, yeah. And then they finally come out with a new game now that it's been successful as an anime.
Kidding me? They came out with a Kimono Friends game.
Yeah.
Again.
Exactly, like another RPG. The original one was an RPG, and now they've come out with another one. So, I believe it's mobile only, Japan. So,
fuck you, Japan.
Yeah, but it got so much traction that got popular. So it was one of those miracle anime that a director had a good vision and actually created something beautiful out of basically nothing. So good on him. Tatsuki, I believe his name was. Good on him.
Well, I came here for Sandcat, who's the girl who did who's the idol girl who actually did the intro. Right. I mean the ending. I mean.
Yeah. So, but I love that anime a lot, and it definitely exceeded my expectations, especially considering. I mean, it exceeded most people's expectations. I think. I
came into that anime expecting it to be trash, and I was totally amazed.
Yeah, it was definitely good stuff, especially considering it. Like literally, you can even tell it has like no budget, but it just makes it work,
Dude, up until episode 4, those the intro, the wheels on the bus did not turn.
I know exactly. It's just so ghetto, but it has this charm to it that he really just makes it work really well.
Well, if it comes out in Blu-ray, I can tell you for sure, episode 1, the opening, those wheels are going to be turning because they made money to put that in.
I don't even want them to turn now. They just need to stay still.
It's just a thing with Blu-ray. Of course, you're going to touch it up for the Blu-ray release.
Right.
But I own it for Blu-ray, and I'm sad I forgot about this show. It's just
yeah. See, I was just checking. Yeah, January 2018, a new RPG by Bushiroad, Kimono Friends Pavilion.
By Bushiroad.
Another more. That's exactly what I thought. But yeah, it's a.
Weren't we into a Bushiroad card game?
We barely were. We played it at one anime expo and then we dropped it.
Yeah, thank God it's not Magic.
That one was Weiss Schwartz.
I think you still have your deck.
Mine are going into storage. I actually just looked at them yesterday and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna put these into storage.
Mine are in storage too.
So
actually, mine are lost in storage, so I don't even know where to go.
Alright, so getting into my last little bit here, my number 1 anime of 2017.
I'm scared. Should I be scared?
I already mentioned what it was, since I said it was on your list as an honorable mention.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, can you guess it? I mentioned it. Did you already forget? I haven't said it yet.
Oh yeah, Saga of Tanya the Evil.
Saga of Tanya the Evil. Yojo Senki. So I thought that was a really good anime. Like, it just brought this like craziness, this like intensity of this salaryman who's become this little lolly girl
In a
and who's
different world.
in a different world, running a fucking war under his belt. And it really just came off really well to me. And like, I thought it was really brilliant the way it was done.
I liked it. I gotta admit, I'm surprised I didn't put it as up there. I mean, there's probably something I didn't like about it that totally turned me off on it. But I mean, the premise is totally solid.
I mean, there were some parts that were slow, but I think they were really still done well.
That's probably
because
why.
It was just kind of more of a political, or just war type of undertone with a lot of diplomatic stuff going on, which I still thought was pretty well done.
And a little girl killing everything like she's fucking MacGyver.
Exactly, which is amazing. And happy enough, just a couple days ago, we have confirmed that we're getting a sequel in the form of a movie. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Man, I gotta admit, fuck. I'm kind of excited to hear this news, but at the same time, I'm kind of a little down that I put this in my honorable mentions. But there's reasons that I just can't explain.
that was probably the favorite show that I watched like that. I didn't watch it when it aired, but after it aired, my friend watched it and he told me, "You really need to check this out." And I checked it out. No, my buddy in Indiana, and he told me about it, and I binge watched the whole thing, and that's probably the only show I binge watched from start to finish in 2017 too, just the whole thing, and that really took me in and just captivated me the whole time.
Because I remember watching it. I watched it too at what's it called? Literally when it came out, in that week,
right.
The first episode came out. I had Javier, which we both know and love.
Yeah.
The guy who watches sports anime. Tell me, yo, you need to watch this.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it. I hadn't heard of it at all until basically after it aired, and then once I watched it, I just smashed through it because I loved it.
Well, coming from the guy who just watches sports anime, it was a total surprise that he gave me this recommendation, which I came in expecting it to give it one episode and dropping it,
right?
And I totally stuck around. So
yeah, I mean that season, I don't think I watched anything that season. Honestly, I think I was probably busy with school and stuff, which is why I kind of overlooked a lot of things.
I think it's because the reason I watched a lot of anime back then was because I wasn't really working. No, I was working at the gas station still until April, and then got back into work on May. So back in the day, I guess in the gas station, I had a good amount of time to watch anime just because I could.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a treat.
So yeah, I had missed that anime. I hadn't watched. I pretty much the first 3 months of that year, 2017, I watched nothing. Then I watched a few things in the spring. Watched a bunch of stuff in summer. Then fall, watched nothing again.
Fuka.
Then caught up again on at the end of the year.
There was an anime that caught my attention just because of people talking about it, but it's not on Crunchyroll and I can't remember the name.
Mm-hmm. That came out last year,
this year, but it's a cell shaded. It's a 3D CGI anime.
That's coming out right now, or
it's out, I believe.
It's currently airing.
I might have finished this season, I guess.
Okay. We'd have to probably look, but I'm not entirely sure.
We don't need to mention it now, I guess. So,
but regardless,
it's caught my eye just because it's a totally 3D animated show.
There's been more and more that have been coming around that style where they've done it all CG, and they're definitely getting better at it. Mm-hmm. The first couple of times I saw it was what was that show? The one about the ships. Man, I can't remember what it was called.
Kentai Collection?
Archipelago Blue, I think it was. Aoki Hagane no Arpeggio.
Arpeggio of the Blue Steel.
Yeah. That one was one of the first shows I watched that was full CG, all 3D.
It wasn't that jarring for us.
For at the beginning for me it was, but I really got used to it, and then that's kind of helped me kind of get into the other shows that have been all CG. So.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, going off on a tangent here, but I have a few honorable mentions here. So, Princess Principal was one that I liked a lot. Honestly, that kind of teetered between that and the Grimoire of Zero for my fifth pick. Just about these young, high school girl age spies.
Grimoire of Zero. Why does that sound familiar?
Because I just talked about it 20 minutes ago. The Spice and Wolf kind of one.
Okay, my bad. Oh, okay, no, my bad. I was thinking of the
ReZero
Megas Index.
Oh, okay. But Princess Principal, yeah. So these high school girls who are actually spies for the fucking government. They're like killers and shit like that. It was actually pretty cool. The only thing that I didn't like that the anime did was that they took the novel, which was 24 novels. Or manga chapters rather, and they had one episode per manga chapter, except they only did 12 of them, or 13, so they missed a bunch of chapters, and they did them all chronologically out of order. So you'd have like start with chapter 8, then chapter 1, then chapter 4, then chapter 10, stuff like that, which I guess they were trying to make it more coherent, but it kind of came off not that way at all, because you'd have characters like at the beginning that you'd see, and then all of a sudden they'd be gone the next episode, then they'd come back to the episode after that, and you'd be like, and then their introduction would come on like the 4th episode. So it was really jarring, and it didn't make sense the first like 3 or 4 episodes I watched, but otherwise it was a really good show. And then the other honorable mention was Shokugeki no Soma season 3.
Okay, I knew that.
I mentioned that. That was also teetering on my number 5 spot because it was definitely a lot better than season 2, so I was happy about that. So at least makes my honorable mention on that front. Yeah. All right, that's all for me.
All right, so we gotta close it off. So I guess what the new tradition is, we recommend a tag, and I guess we should mention a little bit about something special about it related to said tag. So,
right.
Sean, would you like to? Actually, you know what? If anything, I'll probably start it off.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'd like to start off with a tag called Ahegao, which
we all love Ahegao.
I love Ahegao. You love Ahegao. You don't even know what it is, but I'll tell you what it is. So Ahegao, as a description, the literal description of it is. Dictionary description is an exaggerated facial expression indicating pleasure, usually includes rolled up eyes, open mouth, and tongue sticking out, often occurs during sexual climax. So if it ain't obvious, it's a hentai tag. And notable artists that I'd like to mention that do these really well is Takeda Hiromitsu, Asanagi, if you're ever into that shit, I guess. There's also, let me think. I'd have to dig deep. Shindle. Shindle's just one of those new artists that I just remember getting into, and it just totally disappoints. But he does really great Ahegao faces, and I guess the last one I could think of is probably. I wouldn't say Ghetto Use, but
Takeda Hiromitsu?
I already mentioned that one.
Good.
I mean, if anything,
did you mention Mizuru UK?
There you go. Mizuru UK
also
is a good one that does. There you go. That's the one I was thinking of. Mizuru UK does really great Ahegao faces. It's just really cartoonish. Like you just can't help but just appreciate it just because of how over the top it is sometimes. And yeah, it's just kind of funny.
We all love an Ahegao face every once in a while.
Now, Sean, what have you been watching? I mean, what is your tag?
So I've got it's a maybe a more refined tag here. It's one that you don't think of, whenever you see it, but it's one that really comes to my mind. as one that I like a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
so hot pants, as they're called. Not to be confused with bike shorts, bloomers, or gym shorts. It's a very specific kind of shorts here, you know.
Okay.
So shorts that are made to emphasize the buttocks and the legs.
That sounds pretty clear, cut, and defined. Is it related to the image we have in the background?
Close. Those are closer to gym shorts. You see, you have to be very specific with it. Usually, they're kind of like jean shorts.
Just a little bit shorter.
Yeah, they're generally shorter, cut off closer to the crotch, and they're usually jean shorts a lot of the time.
Okay.
And they're usually tight, like to bulge out the thighs and the buttocks a little bit.
Okay.
I'm trying to think here.
I guess it really is the gentleman's tag.
Exactly. It's a cultured, taste here. A lot of times you see it paired with gyarus.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
you see it there, and one artist in particular that I see this with a lot is Noise. If you know Noise, does opai lolly stuff generally.
Okay.
Not one of my favorite tags, but he makes it work really well. He's been a solid artist for a long time, and he knows how to do some hot pants.
I'd say the group that does the Hooters girls doujinshi is pretty.
Bucha as well.
Bucha.
Yeah, that group definitely does the hot pants well too. So you can find these at a lot of the places, but a lot of the times it's overlooked.
As a fetish.
But pay attention to it, because it's something that you don't always get, but when you see it, you should appreciate it for what it is.
Okay.
Because the artist picked those shorts for a reason. He wanted to make some emphasis on some nice features of the ladies. So yeah, before you just skip past the first 3 pages while they're still closed, take a quick gander at the nice hot pants and appreciate them.
Alright, so I guess that concludes this episode of the Dirty Casual Corner.
I think that's it for us.
Alright, well, thank you very much for staying tuned, and hopefully next time we'll get into the darker tags and be a warning to you all, hopefully, or a savior to you all. So you guys have a good evening. Have a good night.
Alright guys, take care.
Alright man, later.